The Royal Temple's Orphanage, a place where many saints and Taoists have been born. There is a child here who is hated by everyone. A scream suddenly echoes from the teacher. The teacher rushed over to ask, "Bells, did you hit someone again?" Bells stood grinding her teeth in resentment. The priests standing outside whispered into each other's ears, "Honestly, that child is just a troublemaker." The kids also laughed with a sarcastic attitude. "He is really a bad kid. I am sure it is Bells' fault." A priest laughed and said, "And he thinks he can become a saint. What a joke. I am someone no one wants to be near, in other words." Bells stood behind and kept defending herself. He started it first, from a distance. Another girl came over and asked the boy who had been physically assaulted by Bells, "Are you okay? Your wound looks bad, let me heal it." This gentle girl is Diana Berlote. From then on, Bells could also feel that a child as radiant as the sun was completely opposite to her. People say that a good shadow is only seen when the light shines brightly. I am Bells. I am the impurity of this place. The place I was born in is a devout country area. Nobles and commoners alike revered the goddess. This has given the temple unmatched power and prestige. Its history is filled with the magical performances of the saints. There is a figure who can never be excluded from area's legacy. The saint, the flower of the temple. And from the orphanage where I lived, many outstanding saints and Taoists were born. People say the children here are blessed by God and are a gift from heaven. My ability is the power to heal. Because of this power I was once considered a candidate for the position of saint, but I never went further than just being a candidate because of Diana. We were both the same age and entered the orphanage around the same time, but she also possessed the power to heal and was like a little angel, unlike me, who had to struggle to heal even small wounds. Diana could heal deep wounds instantly like the legends of the saints. She was kind and sweet to everyone, whether children or adults. Everyone saw Diana as a guardian angel. People constantly compared me, a saint candidate, with Diana. Bells looked at her small hands and wondered, why does she have the same power as me? At first, I tried to outshine her. But everything fell apart when Diana's guardian appeared. Once Bells overheard the priest's conversation. The Berlote Marquis family. Is it true that the family rumored to have abandoned Diana at the orphanage suddenly feels guilty for leaving their illegitimate child behind? Even though we were both considered saint candidates, Diana and I were different from the start. We were never meant to be the same, so I was the only one left at the orphanage. A few years later, due to an accident in the orphanage, I not only lost my healing power but also my healing eyes, which allowed me to see where everyone's wounds were. I have not been helpful for days. Bells kicked a stone on the floor with a frustrated look. I got scolded again today, of course. Then one day, a voice called out, "Bells, hurry up and come here to greet them. This is Duke Calios and the young master." I could not believe that someone without power like me would suddenly have a guardian. Bells stood with her arms crossed, glancing at the young master. The Duke wants to borrow my healing power, but in the end, like everyone else, they will be disappointed in my ability and take everything back. I should not have accepted such protection from the beginning. The young master slowly walked towards Bells with a graceful demeanor. Hair as black as the night sky, and sharp, sparkling golden eyes. Young Duke Edwin of the Calios family. Bells also began to feel fluttered by Duke Edwin's handsome and romantic appearance. He was like a prince stepping out of a fairy tale. The moment I saw him, all my discomfort, even when the adults were asking about my protection, Bells could not control her emotions and blurted out, "It is so sparkling and beautiful." She resolutely pointed at Edwin and declared, "I want this to belong to me." The priest, upon hearing this, could only hold his head in panic. What is this? He had to force a smile and explain to the Duke, "No, I am really sorry, she is just a child." On the other hand, he used his hand to press Bells' head down and muttered, "Apologize now, you little devil." The Duke spoke, "It is okay, she is young, it will happen. Then we will consider the protection that has been established." And so I became a part of the Duke's family. Bells ran friendly towards Edwin. "Let us live in harmony from now on." The boy fell back in fear, avoiding her. "Get away from me." Time flew by, and our little Bells has now grown up. Once she overheard a conversation between two maids. They said, "Lady Bells has ruined another tea party." Apparently, Lady Triana even declared that she would not attend any gatherings that Lady Bells is invited to. Even when I grew up and changed my status, I was still an outcast with nowhere to belong. The maids were still talking non-stop. "Have you heard about Lady Diana? They say she has completely cured the Queen, as expected. Diana will definitely become the saint of this generation. And that is not why young Duke Edwin is engaged to her." While the maid was standing there talking on and on, a hand appeared from nowhere. Bells used her own hands to grab her hair and shouted loudly, "Stop talking about Diana." In Bells' mind, only the name Diana was haunting her. The maid kept begging in fear, "Lady, I was wrong, please forgive me. Wherever I go, Diana's shadow always follows me. No matter how hard I try, I still can't reach her toenail." In the end, Diana not only took away the things I had longed for. Bells witnessed the scene of young Duke Edwin warmly welcoming Diana. She even stole the person I cared about the most. "This is not fair, Diana, you already have everything. Why take Edwin away too?" On the day that my jealousy for Diana reached its peak, one of the crown prince's aides came to see me. He revealed that Diana's family was plotting with the second prince to assassinate the emperor. "Don't you want to stop Diana and Edwin's engagement and take the position of saint for yourself? Here, take this." Looking at the letter in his hand, Bells was a little doubtful. "What is it?" And then they proposed a plan to me. He took out a mysterious vial of solution and told her, "Evidence of betrayal. All you need to do is leave the letter and this poison at the Marquis's house." Even then I thought it was very strange. Why they would entrust such an important task to me, and why the evidence had to be left at the Marquis's house instead of being handed over to the guards, but blinded by jealousy. I did not think much about it. The joy of finally being able to separate Diana from Edwin made me take it and go straight to the Marquis's house, but after being poisoned, Diana struggled with her last bit of strength to say to Bells, "Their real plan is not like that, why you?" I was like a foolish person who was easily taken advantage of, and I only realized it when everything was over. She screamed in panic, "No, I did not put poison in the tea." Without a chance to defend herself, I was arrested with the poison and arrested for the crime of poisoning the saint. Soon after, they found a letter in my room recording the conspiracy of betrayal, and I also had to take responsibility for that crime. Then I knew that the evidence of the Marquis and the second prince's alliance had been modified to involve Duke Calios and the crown prince, the Calios family, a legendary family honored as the heroes of religious wars with centuries of honor and glory behind them, lost their title and became traitors because of my greed. Even when I stood on the execution platform for the crime of attempted murder, I still kept thinking, why does this only happen to me? I feel like a poor villain in a trashy novel. And then at the moment of accepting the departure from this world, I realized, this world is actually a novel about the trials, triumphs, and love of a woman, as she overcomes difficulties and becomes a saint named Destiny to become a saint. And of course, Diana is the main character, not me. All the important characters I know in this world are male leads destined to fall in love with Diana. Every time Bells appears in front of them, she is only an opponent against Diana and harasses her at all costs. Everything has been arranged for Diana. I am simply a tool for the original plot. I regret living a life full of hatred and bitterness. My only precious life, remembering it I close my eyes, but then I can't believe it. Bells touched her face in panic. Unbelievable, what is this? She frantically looked in the mirror. Chubby fingers and soft skin. Bells widened her eyes in surprise. Am I really alive? When I opened my eyes, I had been turned back to myself at 5 years old, the one rejected by everyone. I am sure I am no longer in this world. How did I realize I was in a novel and then come back to live? Wait, now that I think about it, some parts of my previous life are not connected to the novel. In the original plot, there was no collapse of the Calios family. In fact, in the original work, immediately after Diana's poisoning accident, they abandoned me, Bells, and chose to save the family. So why was my previous life different from the original? Could it be that my actions deviated from the original after I realized I was in a novel? So it is not my fault. I am the reason for the collapse of the Calios family. While immersed in a confusing mess of thoughts, the priest suddenly opened the door and came in. Bells, are you ready? When you finish eating, copy chapter 10 of the 6th Bible. I will be back in 1 hour to check. She stood frozen in fear. The priest kept comparing Bells. Don't forget, Diana has finished all the lessons and left the temple to receive the protection of a high-ranking nobleman. How can she be so different from you? You do not even know how to write properly. How can two candidates be so different? Bells was startled to realize, wait, this person. That is the priest who caused me the most trouble in my previous life. She is always nagging, if you try another trick like last time, you will suffer terrible consequences next time. How dare you stare at me like that? Stop looking at me with that weird expression, you savage. As soon as she finished speaking, she pushed Bells to the floor. She wondered to herself, why does not this annoying cough stop? Bells teared up and said silently in her heart, this cough will never go away. It is an incurable disease, the priest said indifferently. Don't make a fuss and get up immediately. I only pushed you, and those red eyes too. What is it? What a troublesome kid. Bells sat on this side and thought to herself, I do not intend to tell her this time that I saw her incurable disease. Healing eyes are my special ability to recognize injuries and their causes based on the colors emitted by the patient. Among them, blue symbolizes an incurable disease. In her previous life, this ability allowed her to foresee the passing of a female priest. Bells pointed at her and said, "Auntie, you are going to croak soon." The priest was startled and panicked upon hearing this. "What did you just say? It seems that an evil spirit has taken over this body." "Priest, please lock this disrespectful child in the repentance room." After those words, Bells was banished to the dungeon. She could only cry out in vain, "Let me go, I am just saying what I see." Initially, I was detained for disrespecting the female priest, but when she actually croaked as I had predicted, I was dragged back to the repentance room without knowing why. During the 2 years I was there, I gradually lost the power of my healing eyes. Returning to reality, Bells glared at the priest with hatred. "In my previous life, I lost it so meaninglessly. This time I won't let that happen again, so I won't tell anyone about it forever." She suddenly turned her head and told Bells, "Calm down and copy the Bible like Diana. It is surprising how different she is." The girl, upon hearing this, only stuck out her tongue and teased her. "You do not need to tell me, I already have a plan to do it. Diana has always been naturally good while I have always resisted everything because we are both saint candidates, we are constantly being compared. At that time I hated it so much that I deliberately did worse. Only after I realized my resistance caused the nobles to delay supporting me. If I pretended to be like Diana, maybe I would have escaped this place sooner, but in my previous life, pride prevented me from doing that even though it harmed me. But this time I will live differently. If pretending to be like Diana is necessary, then I will do it perfectly." Bells took a deep breath and mustered her courage. "In my previous life, I rarely passed the Bible assessments because I could not read or write well. Now that I am back, copying the Bible is just a small matter. Let us see." The first saint, Archaea, sacrificed her heart to the goddess to prevent the invasion of evil spirits. By doing so, she brought the miracle of divine reversal. After a while of daydreaming, Bells was shocked to see the scribbled words on the paper. Why did this happen? She tried to reassure herself. It must be because it is the first writing after I came back. If I rewrite it like that, it will still be the same as before. Bells looked at her hands and speculated, could it be that my mind from the previous life is not synchronized with this child's body? Actually, both the art of writing and the art of reading, they were both taught to me by the Duke's family. Bells remembered the time in her previous life. She was so frustrated that she threw the pen on the floor. No matter how many times I write, they are all the same. But Edwin was always by her side encouraging her. "It is better this time. Let me teach you again from the beginning. Just pick up the pen again." Bells pursed her lips trying to hold back her tears. "It will still be the same." Suddenly the Duke suddenly stepped in, startling Bells. "Are you studying?" "Oh my, it seems I just interrupted you," Edwin sighed and asked. "Why do not you show me what you did? You put in the effort to write it," the girl shyly replied. "No way, I will show you when I write better," Edwin gently advised her. "Even now, father will be proud of your efforts." Bells hesitantly asked back, "Really?" Finally, she decided to show the Duke. "This is my writing. Can you look at it for me?" He quickly replied, "Of course, let us see." Looking at the words on the paper, he praised, "You did a good job. I was too harsh and bitter because of the feeling of being inferior to Diana, yet they always waited and comforted me." Bells hesitated and said, "Anyone can see it is terrible," the Duke explained gently. "That is natural for the first effort. Because of their patience, I finally opened my heart and accepted them as a family." The Duke pointed out Bells' strengths. "The lines are still stable. Even when writing long with practice, you will definitely develop a graceful hand. No need to rush. You will definitely do better. I want to see them again. I want to apologize for my selfishness and mistakes. I want to repay the love and kindness they gave me." A week after returning, everyone spread rumors about Bells. Do you know what? Bells, the one who always causes trouble, has become a completely different person. Deciding to live differently, I have changed enough for others to notice. She ate all of her rice in the amazement of so many people. Bells actually ate all of her portion. It is really unexpected. She quickly turned away to hide her uncomfortable expression. "This is nothing even though the taste is terrible. I miss the Duke's family's food, finally done." Even so, she smiled and said, "Thank you for the meal." The boy sitting nearby could only laugh stupidly and say, "I knew it." Looking closely, he must have secretly dumped them somehow. The priest began to suspect. How is it possible? The madness inside Bells rose again, scaring the boy to turn pale. "You crazy, I tried to live straight but they do not let me do that." The priest quickly spoke to stop her. "Hey, you can't hit your friends." Bells took a deep breath, trying to control the second personality inside her. "Anyway." She smiled kindly. "You saw it, I ate every piece clearly. You are too playful. It is okay, I will let it go because I am a good person from now on. Although I still have a long way to go, if I continue like this I will be ready to meet the Duke's family again," said Bells, softly leaving. "This life will be different from the previous life." "Right." The priest hurried to follow behind Bells. "Hurry up and change this dress." Bells widened her eyes in delight when she held the lady's dress in her hand. It is so beautiful. This dress is only for meeting nobles, but why me? The female priest panted and said, important guests have come to see you. Hurry up and get dressed. She gasped in surprise and replied, yes. It is strange, there is no reason for someone to come to see me at this time. Who could it be? Bells walked inside nervously. I met Duke Calios for the first time after completing the loss of my healing eyes at 7 years old. At 8 years old I left the temple and moved to the Duke's house. So when I was only 5 years old, no one should have come to see me. The female priest stood outside and knocked on the door to announce, Sir, it is me. A voice echoed out asking to come in. The door gradually opened, meaning the worry in Bells grew. No matter how differently I have lived, it is too early for this to happen. The familiar face of the Duke gradually revealed. The one who came. As soon as she saw him, the emotion in Bells surged. Since that day I can't forget them even in my dreams. How can I forget? Those who left for me. My saviors. Show respect, this is Duke Calios. He stood silently staring at Bells with a stern expression. She was stunned. I did not expect to meet him so soon, but why did the Duke's family come so early? This is not like my previous life. Bells told herself, maybe this is a good thing. This life gives her the opportunity to meet the Duke's family earlier. But she has to make a good impression. Her cheeks flushed red. I am just being controlled by emotions. She tried to reassure herself, calm down, I have to do as I practiced in my head. Then she took the initiative to open her mouth. Hello, Duke. She bowed respectfully. She did not forget to greet according to etiquette. My name is Bells. I am 5 years old and I have the ability to heal. Liam seemed pleased and praised. You seem familiar with etiquette. Bells thought to herself, I do not know why I did not realize it in my previous life. How caring the way the Duke looks at her. He introduced, I am Duke Calios. At this time she shifted her attention to the boy in front of her. He is the eldest son and also the heir of the family, Edwin Calios, the young Duke of Calios. The more she thought, the more worried she became. If I look into Edwin's eyes now, I think I won't be able to hold back my tears. She tried to suppress her emotions. Hello, young Duke. Suddenly a voice said, Bells, the reason these people came to find you is because at this time, Edwin suddenly interrupted. Wait. He approached Bells. Hey, do you have something to say to me? She shivered. No, if Edwin is so close, then she feels she won't be able to control her emotions anymore. In an instant, that year's appearance appeared again. Am I not beautiful? Do you not like me? Bells was speechless. She could not hold back her tears. It was an insult when it reminded her of her previous life. She really could not hold it in anymore, so she burst into tears in everyone's confusion. A moment later, she wiped her nose with a handkerchief. Bells shyly blamed herself, crying at the first meeting, she is really stupid. Liam reminded his son, comfort the little girl. Edwin dissatisfied, did I do anything wrong? Upon hearing this, she felt even more ashamed. Did you do anything wrong? You did not do anything wrong at all. I am the one who did wrong this life too. I made you uncomfortable when we first met. This body and emotions are not in sync with the heart. A child's body is very uncomfortable. The guardian shyly apologized. I apologized to the Duke and the young Duke. Bells is still young, so maybe she was startled. She was told that even though she was young, she must know the authority of the brutal Duke family. A family without blood and tears has trained the sword masters who swept the battlefield through many generations. The current Duke is known as the Heartless Demon Sword since he was young. Bells pouted. She was not crying because of that. Moreover, those rumors were just exaggerations. The Duke's family was very kind. Not only did they not abandon a useless person like her, but they also helped her. Suddenly the guardian said, or should you come again next time? Liam helped. Okay, it is normal for children to be afraid of strangers. The guardian was still worried, however, Duke. As I said before, Bells is not really useful. Suddenly Liam was annoyed. Enough, I do not think this is something that should be said in front of children. He forced a smile. You are right, Liam added. And you should know this child is our only hope. The child you brought last time also failed completely. If it was not for the young Duke, I would have thought there was no progress in treatment. Bells was surprised. If they are talking about treatment, could it be about the second son? Around this time the Calios Duke's family was no different than having a funeral. Even with all the doctors and medicine across the continent helping, the second son's condition did not improve. Finally the Duke asked the temple for help as a last resort, and the temple received a large donation. Bring Diana, who belongs to the Marquis family, to the Duke's residence. However, even though Diana had good healing abilities, she could not completely cure him, and he passed away when Bells was 7 years old, but until the second son died. Diana had been continuously visiting the Duke's residence for a year. It is still too early now. How could they know that Diana would not be able to cure him? Thinking carefully, did not he say I was not beautiful just now? He said something strange. She stole a glance at Edwin, as if he was remembering something from the past. Bells dismissed her own thoughts. Impossible. Otherwise he would not have left on the day the Duke's family was ruined. Suddenly the Duke spoke. You said your name is Bells. Bells, I have a child just like you, one with dignity and politeness. Bells thought to herself, if it is another child from the Duke's family. She boldly said, I know you are talking about Joshua, right? Internally she was panicked. Do not tell me you are planning to have me treat him instead of Diana. She continued, I treated him at the event last year. She told herself, I can't miss this opportunity. In my previous life, I used my healing abilities to treat countless people. And Calios' second son was one of them. It was just a fleeting event. My memory of Joshua is quite vague, but this is the first opportunity for me to repay the Duke's family. She bravely affirmed that it was true, Your Grace. Bells asked further, Diana can't cure Joshua, right? Liam wondered, how do you know? Bells was tense. I am not sure I can completely cure him, but, she thought to herself, I can't possibly succeed in something that even the female lead Diana could not do. Even so, even if it is just to repay a portion of what I owe them, I will try my best. She said, if you give me the chance, I will try my best to heal him. After her words was silence. So she thought she probably could not. After all, she was weaker than Diana. Suddenly Edwin said, the one who allows you is not us, you idiot. Liam reminded his son, Edwin, watch your language. He replied, we are the ones asking for a favor, are not we? Bells heard this and tears were about to spill out again. The young Duke is right, Edwin. He looked panicked. Why are you about to cry again? I swear I did not do anything this time. Unexpectedly, Liam reached out his hand. So Bells, do you want to come to the Duke's mansion? Her eyes were filled with happiness. Yes, of course, I can't believe it. She never thought she could come to the Duke's mansion so quickly, because the Duke had placed so much trust in her. She would definitely cure Joshua. Suddenly someone called her, Bells. The guardian said he had something to say to her before she left. Please, Duke, go to the carriage first. Edwin suddenly stepped forward. What is the matter? He stood in front of Bells. If you want to say something, just say it now. Bells was very surprised. Edwin. The guardian tried to persuade. It won't take long, young Duke, because I am the guardian. This old man wants to warn the little one a bit. Liam replied, all right, the child also needs some time to prepare. Let us go to the carriage first. However, Edwin was a bit dissatisfied. Before leaving, he said, if anything happens, you have to run to us. Bells said yes. For some reason, she had the feeling that Edwin was trying to protect her. Was it her imagination? Edwin said. Then talk slowly. After the Duke and his son left, the guardian revealed his true face, that damn brat. He called Bells. She was still deep in thought. That is right, because of the meeting with the Duke's family, she had forgotten. The guardian scolded, pretend to heal just enough for that brat and then come back. He is the high priest Dunkeski. He has always been this kind of person. Heal the patient just enough to make them have to return to the temple. He threatened Bells. The time will come for those arrogant Calios to know who has the power here. He is greedy and disgusting, she repeated. Just enough, Dunkeski said. That is right, do what you always do. The illness that Diana can't cure, someone like you can't cure it, in the high priest's eyes, whether Bells heals him or not. The temple will still be put in a difficult position, he said. Do not babble about what you can do and ruin the reputation of the temple. I am telling you to know your place. If Bells can't heal him, they will have to return the money that the Duke's family has donated. If by chance she succeeds, it means that Diana's abilities are not enough. The temple intends to use Diana to ensure profits, so of course they do not want her value to be reduced. Which means they will have to return the donated money. Continuously sympathize for her weak abilities, like a sacrificial object. If Joshua dies, it means she is not even worthy of being trash, is she? She knows. In the temple, her position is not even as an applicant for the position of saintess. She is just a stepping stone for Diana, something easily exploited, reduced the burden and discarded when out of use. But what if this time she refuses to live like that? Bells boldly said, what if I can heal him? She was scolded by Dunkeski. Speaking like that, you must have been possessed by a demon. Do you want to be imprisoned like Ismail? Hearing this, Bells turned pale. Ismail, a person with abilities like her and Diana, was called to the temple a year ago, but was returned to the orphanage just a few days later, losing her abilities and voice after being imprisoned in the repentance room. Ismail was possessed by an evil spirit, so the gods took back her abilities and voice. That is what Dunkeski said. And furthermore, Bells, you were raised to become an applicant for the position of saintess, so you must behave properly. That way the gods will bless you more and continue to help us. Words Bells had heard countless times in her previous life. Behave properly, Bells. You never know when you will become useful. Those hopes are like poison to her. He always reminds her, you must surpass Diana to become a saintess, but she was never recognized by them, even in her final moments. Dunkeski said, that way the goddess will bless and always watch over and support you. Do not you think so too? Words she had heard so many times in her previous life. Behave properly, Bells, you never know if you can prove yourself useful. Those hopes are like poison to Bells, he said. Maybe you will surpass Diana and become a saintess, but Bells was never acknowledged by them. Even in her last moments, she is not possessed by demons, nor is she an innocent child like Ismail. She is a person, high priest. No matter how annoyed she is, she will follow temporarily. So she tried to force a smile. Yes, high priest, soon she will give him a strong kick. Bells pretended to ask, should I quickly go and meet the Duke's family? We will let them wait forever. Dunkeski woke up. That is right, you can leave now, remember my words. Before leaving, she still bowed to say goodbye. High priest, you son of a bitch, he immediately got angry. What did you say? She pretended that he just misheard. Not son of a bitch but high priest Dunkeski. Bells told herself, I will never let things happen the way he wants, no matter what happens in this life. Reaching the outside, Edwin asked her, why are you so late? She wondered, Edwin, is he waiting for me? Because there are people she wants to protect. That is Edwin, he said, let us go. That old man is really strange, is not he? She froze, of course not. Edwin, even in his previous life, did not like people related to the temple very much. He never told Bells the reason. Even so, he was engaged to Diana, who would become a saintess. Perhaps because he really loved her. Bells should support both of them and hope they are happy, but... She forced a smile when he asked what Dunkeski said to her. What did he say to you? No, just... He asked me to take care of Joshua carefully. For some reason she felt a little sad. After walking for a while, they finally arrived. She looked at the building in front of her. I am finally back. Back to estate real estate. Of course, seeing the Duke's mansion made her realize that she had truly returned. Going inside, Liam said to Bells, sorry for rushing you without giving you time to rest, but could you check on Joshua first? Bells, she replied, certainly, let me take care of it. Edwin sat down and held Joshua's hand. Joshua, we are here. Joshua is Edwin's younger brother and the Duke's youngest son. He suffers from a chronic illness that causes his wounds to bleed abnormally. Bells silently watched. Looking at the child who had passed away in her previous life felt truly strange. Maybe I feel this way because the two of us are in the same situation. She announced to Liam. Then I will start by examining the young Duke's body. He permitted, please do so. First, she should check his condition. The bandage wrapped around his leg looked new, but the edge of the bandage was soaked with blood. Perhaps the blood has not stopped flowing from the previously injured wound. As Bells remembered, the cause of Joshua's death in her previous life was not due to excessive bleeding, but due to a heart attack, and orange energy radiating from Joshua's heart. That is what people often see in patients with a terminal illness of unknown origin. She only vaguely guessed this through memories from her previous life. She was convinced by that energy every time a wound appears. His already weak heart has to endure more stress to supply blood to the body when it is weak. If so, she needs to treat his heart first, not the injured area. Liam suddenly asked, what do you think, can it be treated? She replied, yes, I know about the current Calios. Suddenly, Bells felt something terrifying, impossible. Why? Why does Edwin have the same energy? The energy does not come from the wound on his knee but from a completely different area. And yet, Bells felt a clear similarity. Faint energy radiating from Edwin. It is the same genetic disease. In her previous life, she met Edwin after losing her healing abilities, so she could not recognize it in time. As for the Duke, who probably also carries the same genetic disease, I can't feel any energy from him. This is strange. Surely that disease was inherited from the late Duchess, who passed away early. Bells tried to remind herself to focus. This is not the time to speculate arbitrarily about the situation. Everything is different now than in her previous life. She still has healing abilities, and sees that Edwin's energy is weak. It seems the disease is still in the latent stage. Actually, she felt quite relieved to have discovered it early. At this size, it can be treated quickly. The problem is Joshua, because his wound has been treated instead of his heart. They need to treat his heart as soon as possible before it is too late. She looked at Joshua. Try to endure a little longer, Joshua. I will heal you soon. Liam had been watching. He suddenly spoke that place. Suddenly Dr. Gordon and Madame Casten arrived. Gordon said, you went to the temple, so I thought it would take longer, but you arrived before us. I was delayed because I had to get some herbs to support young Master Joshua's recovery. Liam said, Gordon, you always help a lot. He said, it is only natural since I am his main doctor. Saying this, he noticed Bells. What are you doing? She startled. I am trying to heal him. Gordon said, his wound is not there. Why are you touching him there? She hesitated. It is. What should she do now? If she tells them that she has seen the cause of Joshua's terminal illness, and if her healing abilities are discovered, she does not want her healing abilities to be discovered in this life, but there is no way to explain this situation without mentioning her healing abilities. While Bells was struggling with her thoughts, Gordon got angry. Even if you are a child of the temple, I can't let you arbitrarily touch the young duke's body like that. Madame Casten also said, Your Grace, did you really bring that child here? Bells became tense. That person, she recognized her face. Madame Casten, she said, is not this little one the one whose abilities are not as good as Diana's? She is a dedicated maid whom the late Duchess brought from her family. She also takes care of Joshua among all the maids. She is the one who dislikes Bells the most. Madame Casten said uncomfortably, Is not this child's healing ability even inferior to Diana's? Entrusting the young master to someone like that, she looked worried. But only received a cold reply from Liam. The child is a distinguished guest visiting the Duke's mansion. Bells stood there also very surprised. The Duke. I hope you restrain your rude words, Emma. In the end she had to reluctantly respond, I apologize, Your Grace. Then Liam turned to carefully instruct, and Gordon, please trust this child. We can't just watch him die like that. Gordon seemed to still be hesitating about something, but Your Grace. Edwin spoke up, cutting him off. Come on, Gordon, father is right, he is really helpless because even the young Duke is like that. Edwin's eyes looked straight at Gordon. Or do you mean that it is useless for father and I to bring that child here? Gordon thought that explaining was the same, so he replied, for the sake of it, please forgive me for my slip of the tongue. Bells looked at Edwin with an admiring look. Edwin is still the same, whether he is young or old. He is the type who is cold and rational. Edwin turned to the girl suspiciously and asked, So when will the treatment for me start? Bells was afraid and immediately said, I will do it right away. The girl looked at her hand hesitantly. Actually, I already tried it just now. Bells raised her thumb. That is right, this is the problem. This faint healing light has a little vitality. Vitality surging in my body as if it were a vast, infinite ocean, but only a little escapes to the outside. This is why I could not heal properly in my previous life. Bells had a pensive expression. I confidently stepped forward when I believed that I will definitely be helpful in this life. Perhaps that is also the reason. Is your healing ability weaker because you believe in the gods more? Bells thought of Edwin like that because vitality comes from faith. Do not be impatient and pray to the gods. Bells thought for a long time and finally realized, that is right, faith in the gods. What Diana told me in my previous life is probably right. I was too busy blaming the gods in my previous life. Bells clasped her hands and prayed, Why am I an orphan? Why do I have the same abilities as Diana? And why is she better in every way? However, God area, you brought me back to the past to fix everything, right? Then please help me heal this child. The girl is praying for Edwin. If you help me, I will no longer hate Diana or covet Edwin in this life. Bells tried to control her thoughts, and honestly, you have already favored Diana, and this is more than enough in my previous life. I can feel a terrible power is surging in the body, that blinding light everyone can see. Liam was confused. I do not know what this is. Edwin was also very surprised by this. Bells is trying to heal Joshua. The boy is still lying there and is undergoing treatment. Everyone standing behind silently watched Bells. Madame Casten opened her mouth as if something unexpected had happened. The young master is still unconscious. What is wrong with the young master? Gordon heard this and quickly ran over. Me see. Joshua's feet are full of wounds. After looking at it briefly, Gordon knew that the blood had stopped flowing and the wound had also scabbed over. She stood there feeling really confused. What does this mean? Don't you understand? It means the wound has healed. Bells after a long time felt that the energy in her body seemed to be running out. Now it is probably past the dangerous stage. Madame Casten worriedly asked, So what should we do? The young master is still not awake. Just as I thought, an orphan of unknown origin should not touch the young master. But immediately after that, Joshua woke up and sat up in the shock of everyone. The boy rubbed his eyes. Why is everyone here? Bells was happy to see that he was awake. At this time, everyone focused on worrying about Joshua, leaving the girl alone outside without a word of thanks. Bells sadly thought, It is embarrassing that I thought about trying to squeeze in between them. Anyway, Joshua looked so happy. It is good that my magic power worked. Joshua looked at Bells with a dazed expression. Father, who is that person? That is right, say hello, that child. Bells healed you. Joshua looked intently at the girl as expected. She is a talented female doctor, is not she? You really came to keep your promise. Bells sighed tiredly. What do you mean when you say talented female doctor? I am so tired that I can't think anymore. Liam wondered and asked his son Joshua, what does the promise mean? The boy happily recounted that last year at the temple. Edwin looked at Belle's face and then asked her if she was okay. Go and rest quickly. But the girl refused. I am not tired. As soon as she said that, she felt her vision blur too much. Everyone was shocked when they looked at Bells. Too faint, the girl is gradually fainting. This is the first time I have used so much divine power at once. Bells looked blankly when she appeared in a beautiful place again. Is this in a dream? Bells looked over and saw it looked like a birthday party. Even if they are not saints, the children in the orphanage all have extraordinary talents. Everyone believes that these children are blessed by God, and every year at the temple during God's birthday festival, the talents of these children will be performed. Suddenly there was a voice calling, Bells, come out right away. Where could this child be? Bells looked at that person with an unfriendly look. You will never find me. On festival days, Bells often hides in the forest where people do not come here. I am too tired of the patients coming to me. I must be hiding around here. A loud voice was heard. Look, I have healed it perfectly. Bells signaled for the boy to be quiet. So all I am doing is secret. As promised, I will heal this more. While in the process of healing, I suddenly heard a voice, young Master Joshua. The boy said that is my nanny. Bells saw the person coming and immediately ran away. I think I have to go quickly. When we meet again I will heal the rest, okay? But you have to promise to keep secret what happened today. Now Bells remembers. When she was 4 years old, she hid in the back garden to avoid being treated when everyone requested during the birthday party she had to attend. But at that moment Bells met Joshua, who went to work and was injured, and I helped him. Unlike me, who quickly forgot everything. He had been waiting for that promise for a long time. Sorry for forgetting. In this life I will definitely heal you. After a while, Joshua announced to everyone that she had woken up. Joshua and Edwin both breathed a sigh of relief. Also here, do not you remember anything? She healed Joshua and then fainted here. According to Belle's observation, his skin color has improved and the energy in his chest has also decreased a lot. Feeling relieved, now I just need to heal the remaining wounds. Bells promised Joshua, I will complete the treatment that I could not do before. Edwin grabbed her arm and asked what she was doing. Bells replied in fear, I am trying to heal the young master. Your nose is bleeding again. Bells just realized this. Edwin told the girl to bring her face closer, but Bells seemed scared and did not dare to come closer. It is okay, you just need to rest for a while and you will be fine. Keep still, you just woke up after a day. Bells was panicked because of this. A whole day. How? See that they are all wearing different clothes. Edwin had to give in. That is right, so take care of yourself first. But Bells seemed to still be worried about something. If the treatment fails and Joshua dies, the Duke will have to suffer the same pain as in his previous life. For the benefit of the Duke's family, I need to eliminate that energy. I only focused on treating the energy in the heart before, not the real wound. Even though Joshua has woken up, if he doubts my ability because of the remaining injuries and never asks me to do it again, then Joshua's heart will never be treated. Bells said confidently, I can still use magic power. Edwin said, that is right. You should stop treating Joshua, Liam said calmly. Bells was still wondering if it was because I could not completely heal the young master. Liam shook his head and denied it and began to tell the story. Actually, last year when Joshua was happy like this, the boy kept talking about a female doctor in the back garden of the temple who had perfectly healed the wound on his knee. The boy did not tell me specifically because it was a secret. But it turns out you are the one who healed Joshua on that day. Bells now understood everything about the reason why she was sponsored by the Duke's family before being reborn. After Joshua's death, someone in the Duke's family discovered that the cause of his death was a genetic disease, remembering Joshua's words when he was alive, and quickly came to me. Liam made a decision. I will temporarily stop Joshua's treatment until you are completely recovered, and if you allow it. While he was talking, Bells was still in her thoughts. Because all my doubts have been answered, I have now found a direction in the vague determination to repay the Duke's family. I want to ask for your opinion to continue Joshua's treatment. Bells told herself, I will cure the Calios family's genetic disease. So the girl immediately agreed. Please leave it to me. Don't push yourself too hard. Everyone is very worried when they see you collapse like that. Joshua happily approached the little girl. I finally met you again. I do not want to see anything happen to you. Gordon suddenly spoke up in opposition. Everyone did not understand why it was like that. Liam asked him in confusion. You still do not trust Bells? Gordon explained seriously. My doubts have decreased when compared to her abilities. Even a doctor like me finds it amazing. Therefore, more than that, this child can't continue treatment. Using such a large amount of divine power will put great pressure on her body. Liam tried to repeat. God has confirmed this when she fainted. Gordon slowly told the truth. This child, her heart has stopped beating, which made Liam extremely surprised. Bells was extremely scared when she saw that. Both boys looked towards her. In my previous life, the days I was imprisoned for intentionally killing Diana were like hell, endless interrogations and terrible torture. I discovered a hidden ability. There was a figure of a long-haired boy. Even the second Prince Kyrian appeared here. Is this what they call a blessing from the goddess? No matter the wound, it heals immediately and she can live without a heart. If the temple knows this, they will definitely give her the title of saintess immediately. Someone reminded the prince to please pay attention to his words. In this case, the appointment of Diana as a saintess will happen soon, won't it? Why does it only happen to me? After struggling with endless pain, Bells finally embraced death, and when she opened her eyes again, then she had returned to when she was 5 years old. Bells could not believe that her heart had stopped beating when she heard that. I never realized it before, but it is true that I can't feel my heartbeat, because I have returned to the past. My heart should also return. Could it be that my heart was taken away and did not come back with me if I really do not have a heart now? And the reason I am still alive, is it because of the goddess's blessing like the second prince said? This really confused Bells too much. Gordon is examining the little girl. Overusing the soul power in this body seems to have gradually lost to the temporary heartbeat. Although through measures, the pulse is still weak and undetectable. Demanding the little girl to treat the young master is no different than saying we should exchange the little girl's life for the young master. So it is best to stop treating by using divine power here. Bells really did not believe this. I am very healthy if my physical condition in my previous life was like now. Even if I lost my heart, I would not die. If it is just a misunderstanding that stops the treatment, Joshua's condition will worsen and even lead to death. Bells tried to explain, you can ask the temple or the orphanage. Everyone will say there is no child as healthy as me. Heart conditions are difficult to determine without a thorough examination. Gordon also knew this fact, so he could not be sure. He suddenly shouted loudly, "Didn't you hear what I just said? If I continue to let you treat like this, next time it won't be just fainting like that." Bells tried to defend. "That is because I used too much spiritual power at once. From now on I will control it better. If I fall down again, I will also give up. I am extremely healthy. Please believe me." Liam stood outside contemplating as he watched the two of them talk. Finally, he had to speak up to advise, "Bells, think about continuing treatment a little more. If you continue, not only for Joshua's safety but your health as well. You need to accept the Duke's help." Bells was very determined. "I promise. Please let me continue treating the young master." Liam found it very difficult to decide this matter. "You seem to be full of energy. Gordon, quickly prepare the medicine and bring it here." He had to accept. "Yes, Duke, if that is what you want, I will prepare supplements to help her recover energy." Bells also made a request, "If possible, please add Relius herbs too. It is really good for restoring strength." Gordon was indignant. "You are asking for such an expensive thing." Liam spoke up, signaling him. "Okay, I guarantee I will bring the medicine when I come back." Bells felt very happy. "I do not know when the next treatment will be, but from now on, to help Joshua, I will borrow some of those herbs." "Gordon, it feels like from now on I will be able to manage the treatment for my heart and Joshua's illness. But there is one more thing I need to do." Bells had an idea. "Or should I take this opportunity to check on the young master as well?" Edwin affirmed, "I am fine. I have been checked every year and there are no problems." Bells looked worried for him. "But you Joshua are sick. You two are biological brothers. What if you also get sick later?" "You never know." Gordon had begun to suspect. Even when treating Joshua, "I have a strong premonition that this child knows something and is trying to hide it. I have something I want to ask you. Why did you heal Joshua's heart and not his knee?" Gordon began to show his interest. Perhaps this is an opportunity to talk about Joshua's illness. The young master has fallen into a situation where he can't stop bleeding for a long time. Although the wound is not deep, I heard that the treatment for Diana was ineffective, and I thought the cause must be something else. If Gordon finds out Joshua's illness, the treatment will be more favorable. Of course, Edwin can also be easily checked. Gordon understood Bells' intention, so it seems like there is some problem in the heart where it provides circulation and blood. "That is what I read in the book." Bells, remembering that she was only 5 years old, had to lie. This makes people suspect that a 5-year-old is reading medical books that even adults find difficult to accept. It is hard to believe. "Should I make up another explanation?" Edwin asked suspiciously. "You know how to read?" Bells replied, "I know how to read a little bit." Gordon felt that just using medicine to protect the heart was not enough. "I vaguely think that the boy's heart may be under pressure, but young Master Joshua is still young. I believe that once the ability to recover returns, the boy's heart will naturally heal." Gordon must have thought that Joshua's heart could endure until his ability to recover returned. The problem is that this disease is not just because of a lack of ability to recover, but the opposite, because his heart has a problem. The ability to recover has not returned. And the book says that such heart conditions are often hereditary. That is why I suggested checking on the young Duke as well. Gordon was a little surprised. "So you are saying it could be a hereditary disease, because there has never been such a disease in the history of the Duke's family?" so it can be said to come from the side of the late Duchess's family. I only vaguely suspected that there was something wrong with the heart when that child healed the heart right in front of me. I became certain after the wound healed. Liam was sure that, so the heart is the cause of the disease. Gordon nodded in agreement. I have nothing to excuse, Duke. I wish I had realized it sooner. Lift your head up, Gordon. More than anyone, I know how hard you have worked. Now that we have found it, there will be progress. As Bells suggested, it would be good if both you and the young master had some thorough vein checks. Edwin could not believe that he was included. I have been checked every year. Is it really necessary? Gordon explained to him. According to her, it may be a hereditary disease, and have not you had the test last year? Bells could now rest assured. Good. So Edwin's illness can be detected before it gets worse, and he can proceed with treatment. Finally, it was time for Bells to leave. Goodbye everyone. Even if the happy moments pass, I still feel like everything passes like a dream. The temple has sent people to pick me up, because a day has passed and I have not been returned from the Duke's house, and so I have to say goodbye to the Duke once again, leaving behind familiar faces. Hurry up, the High Priest is waiting. Hopefully young Master Joshua will be healthy when I see him again. Bells, I have done everything I can. Discovered the cause of Joshua's illness, prevented his death, and Edwin will be checked, so he will be treated soon. Take care, young Duke. Do not be sad about this. Farewell. Edwin asked Bells not to call me that anymore. You called me Edwin like before, right? Bells felt confused, not knowing what he was saying. I must have accidentally called his name when I woke up after fainting, right? Calling the name of a noble without permission. In my previous life, my attitude was the reason I was hated by the Duke's family. Bells stood there and immediately bowed to apologize. Next time we meet, call me Edwin, okay? Edwin also said goodbye to Bells. She suddenly realized that he had smiled at her just now. Too many things have changed. I do not know when we will meet again. Even so, I hope it will be soon. Liam, after giving Joshua, turned to ask, what do you think, Edwin? About sponsoring that child, Edwin coldly replied. Didn't father already decide? Joshua's condition will definitely be better, unlike Diana. It is not that she did not achieve anything. Logan, aide to Duke Calios, appeared. Haven't we overcome many dangerous stages thanks to Diana? Aide Logan. Then explain why her healing abilities ultimately did not work. Edwin suspected him because you are in charge of the donation budget for Diana. You seem to like making excuses, right? Why not stop that, as Edwin said. Diana's power lost its effect after only a short time of use. Over time, Joshua's condition not only did not improve, but also the healing ability only worked when the patient was alive. When her power stopped being effective, it was clearly expressed. Seeing that Diana's healing power was no longer effective, it seemed that the young master's vitality. The temple had no reason to intervene, bluntly affirming that Joshua would die starting from then. Edwin became clearer. Edwin was very panicked. It is all my fault. I suggested that Joshua should go for a walk. Liam reassured his son. Feeling guilty for thinking he was the reason Joshua was injured after returning from the temple, Edwin locked himself in his room for many days. After that, he agreed to see his father. That is when everything started. Although his eyes were a little red and his face was somewhat gaunt, signs of the loss he had suffered because of this. He nominated. There is another saintess candidate at the temple. What do you think about bringing her here one last time? He spoke with a very different look in his eyes. He was already a child more mature than his age, but since that day, he had no childishness left. Even in a situation where his younger brother's life was hanging by a thread, his rationality and decisiveness were very suitable for an heir in the position of head of the family, which I welcomed. Logan told the two of them. Fortunately, the young master's condition has improved a little, but it is not certain that it will happen again for the time being. Let us just call her when needed, like today, to observe the situation, each time by donating to the temple, right? But not donating is also very good, right? If we are going to sponsor someone, is not this the best way? Liam seriously asked again. Is that also what Gordon meant? He also had to admit that the little girl's healing abilities were indeed very impressive, but even more surprising, she seemed to have a lot of knowledge and medicine. A 5-year-old with medical knowledge is truly an incredible thing. Normally I would agree that it is absurd, but after listening to her talk about the possibility related to genetics, I sent a telegram to the doctors of the Marchioness in Turban. That is my wife's family. In fact, although very rare, there are cases where distant relatives have died with symptoms similar to Joshua. I will receive the relevant documents as soon as possible, but now we have hope of treating the young master. Logan was extremely surprised. Is that true? I have not thought about contacting them yet. Initially the relationship with them was not good, but after Liam's wife died, they also stopped contacting. It is all my fault. Liam shook his head. How can it be your fault? Just feel lucky that we have not realized it too young. So Gordon, Do you want to sponsor that child? Gordon seemed hesitant. If we combine the treatment we are about to find with her abilities, it will definitely help the young master. However, there was one thing that bothered him, that 5-year-old child. Her eyes were as if they could see through people, a child with such strong healing abilities, and moreover, her red eyes were a bit eerie. Edwin uncomfortably spoke up. Isn't he complaining about her taking his precious herbs? Gordon cleared his throat to justify. It is not entirely right, but... Liam did not believe this. Too bad for you, even though you find her eerie. I quite like her and I will definitely sponsor her one way or another. That child is indeed very lovely. She is like a little rabbit. Is not she very cute? Logan could not believe he had misheard. Is he saying someone is cute? Edwin agreed about this. I also think her eyes are very attractive. They sparkle like a heart, right? I have heard the story, Bells. They said that she has improved the condition of the second child. Now explain clearly what happened. Which person threatened the little girl? Bells hesitantly replied. I only pretended to treat him as the high priest said. Then why did Duke Calios send this? It is an adoption document. The Duke's family expressed regret for the temple's actions, accordingly making the following offer. First, we want to sponsor the Saintess candidate Bells. Guardianship will transfer to the Duke's family. Bells was a little surprised that the Duke's family would sponsor her. So this is what he meant by saying he would sponsor me. Second, after Bells' visit, we have confirmed that Diana's abilities are not effective, therefore, according to the teachings of the gods, the Duke's side will not request a refund of the money. But instead we request transparency in the use of that money. But why, now that they know the cause of the disease? They have no reason to sponsor me anymore. Do not they just need to call me when needed? Dunkeski began to speak in a threatening tone. I said. Wasn't the treatment just pretending? Bells was really scared. I only used a little divine power to pretend to curse her. I did not expect it to work. In her heart she was somewhat more at ease because thanks to this official document, she would not be able to hide the fact that she used divine power. Bells tried to explain to him, but I really did heal and I was also very shocked. This is definitely a miracle of the gods. She told herself to make up a better reason, but he still did not understand what a miracle was. Dunkeski had really gone crazy, do you know? How much you have ruined when you really treated that kid. Bells was surprised to see purple flames appear in front of her. I have never seen this color of flame before. Dunkeski said harsh words. That kid should have died. Those Calios fools should have been swallowed up because of their stubbornness with that kid. Bells was a little suspicious. Don't tell me he wanted Joshua to die. So he told me to pretend to treat him. So she had to ask clearly, do you want him to die? Dunkeski could not reply, instead saying she was talking nonsense. I gave you the opportunity, but every time you open your mouth, you only tell lies. Looking at the way you question my words, it seems like your soul has been stolen. Is there anyone out there? Take this child away immediately. Bells tried to resist. There is no basis to call me stolen. Bells was finally locked in a prison cell. Calmed down in the repentance room, she was thrown straight into it. Dunkeski's expression became more and more terrifying. If so, then the evil spirit will be silent and you can be punished. Bells looked out with pitiful eyes. I do not want to be imprisoned here again and lose all my power. The repentance room, this place is hidden deep in the temple. The purpose of this room is not to make the children reflect. This is a terrible place used to strip the special abilities of children, who are said to be blessed by the goddess according to the will of the high priest. That is the true nature of this room. Bells had no hope left. Finally, I am locked in this room again. The voice of the gods that the high priest mentioned, along with my healing abilities from my previous life, also got trapped and lost in this repentance room, so I need to be careful. This time I will definitely protect my ability. It is dinner time, they announced and threw a plate of food into the prison cell. Bells suddenly realized it was dinner time. She was locked up to the point of forgetting the time. Bells told herself that she could not take risks. There might be sleeping pills or anesthetics mixed in. I still do not understand how they take away our abilities. Maybe I will lose my healing ability due to sleeping pills or narcotics. How long will I have to stay like this? Because there is an official document sent from the Duke. They won't be able to keep me here and copy in such a way. Since I am currently still a child, I am not able to endure for long, at most only 2 days. Suddenly Bells heard something. What is this sound? I remember hearing this sound somewhere. Finally she realized, that is right, this is definitely something Diana learned in her previous life. That is the ancient language, as if there is a magic circle spinning around Bells trying to resist its power. Could it be that magic is leaking in this place? Bells tried to stand up. It is not that they give the children something like medicine to take away their abilities. But this room itself is a space that absorbs magical power. Bells felt that this was not good. I have to leave this room immediately. I thought that I only lost my healing ability in my previous life, but that is not the case. I lost my magical power, which is the basis for healing abilities. So I could not use my healing abilities. I have to leave here before my power is taken away again. No, my mind is blurring. Bells tried to resist with her whole body. Is this how everything ends? I am sorry, Edwin, I really wanted to help you, but... Suddenly Bells saw Edwin appear in front of her. Do not lose yourself. Bells was really surprised, not knowing why he came here. We do not have much time, I will explain the situation later. Now we have to leave here. Bells avoided his gaze, but because of me, in situations like these. You can ask for help. Edwin grabbed her arm. Just as they got out, there was an announcement. The prisoner has escaped. Catch her. The two of them went to a bush. Hide here for a moment. I will lead the pursuers away and then come back. Bells fearfully grabbed his arm. Edwin, you do not think I did that, do you? I did not try to kill Diana. I also did not transfer the letter accusing the Duke of treason. Edwin comforted her. Bells, do not cry anymore. Quickly take this. He gave her a box with a heart inside. Is this yours? Don't neglect it. It must be very important to you. Please take care of it carefully. Bells hesitantly asked. Do not you find me disgusting? Don't talk like a coward like that. A member of Calios will never fall no matter what happens. Bells burst into tears. But I am not a member of Calios. Edwin comforted her. My father is preparing for you to be officially registered as a gift for your upcoming 18th birthday. You have been a member of Calios for a long time, so do not let yourself fall before such trivial matters. Someone spoke up. The criminal is here. Catch him. Edwin did not expect that we had arrived here and they still caught up. Edwin grabbed her hand and told her to run. A swordsman was right behind her. He raised his sword. Die, you dirty rat of the Duke's family. Edwin immediately put her behind him. Bells, quickly get out of the way. Just a few seconds later, Bells was stunned by the scene in front of her. Edwin, do not stand still. The sword stabbed straight into his chest. Bells tried to use her abilities to revive. Try a little more, I will heal you. Why is blood flowing non-stop like this? Bells cried for help in vain. Tears kept falling. Edwin said in a feeble voice, do not cry, Bells. Every time you cry like that, I feel so helpless but do not know what to do. Just as he finished speaking, Edwin also fell asleep. Bells tried to wake him up, but everyone said the Duke was dead. Bells bent down to listen to his heartbeat, but could not hear it anymore. Bells had really lost hope when he tried to save her. Bells was so heartbroken. Developed the strongest ability to the crowd of them. And immediately after that, the energy radiated. The crowd could not escape death. They just lay down and rolled out. She is a witch of Calios. Bells pitifully looked at Edwin lying there. Edwin, tears kept falling from his eyes. I'm sorry, everything is okay now, so do not cry, Bells. Bells opened her eyes and saw his figure. Are you still alive? Bells secretly thanked God for blessing. After Bells woke up, she secretly thought that the person who came to save her was Edwin, but it was not. The person holding her was the Duke. And also the people of the temple. Did the Duke take me out of the prison cell? Moreover, Bells still saw the eerie energy from the high priest. She immediately felt lucky. I managed to leave there before all the divine power was stolen. At this time Logan spoke up to report, I have taken all the people involved away. Duke Liam then said to Dunkeski, I have many things I want to ask you privately, so I called you over. Then Liam took out a bag that had fallen in the hallway, and handed it to Bells. You take it, this is the medicine you received from Gordon, right? Hearing that, she did not expect that the Duke came to the temple after discovering the bag of medicine. Perhaps he immediately felt that something was wrong. Liam was very angry. He also threatened Dunkeski. You better explain properly, my patience has its limits. The high priest confusedly replied, this situation is very easy to cause misunderstanding, but this is a place for exorcism, Duke. Since coming to the Duke's house last night, a spirit has invaded Belle's body, so I quickly performed the ritual. Hearing his lies made her a little angry. Liam then said in a heavy voice, even so, how can you treat a child who could become the saintess of the temple like this? The gods teach us to protect the weak. But in an important place like the temple, you lock the child in such a place. Just as he said, Liam drew his sword. It seems like you are the one who has been possessed by a spirit, so I will directly assist with the exorcism. Dunkeski could not help but panic. Duke, please calm down. At that moment, another voice rang out, what is this mess? It turned out to be Pope Montanus too. Dunkeski could not help but wonder why the Pope appeared. Then he laughed loudly and replied, I came to congratulate because the saintess candidate has been sent to the Duke's house to treat his highness. Then Montanus too asked, what is this? Duke Calios, who was supposed to come to see me, is pointing a sword at the high priest in an extremely suspicious room at the orphanage. Suddenly, the high priest Dunkeski shouted loudly, this room is only used for educational purposes, is not it? Did not you entrust everything related to the children to me?" While they were arguing, the Pope unexpectedly walked by. He went straight to Bells and asked, "Do you remember me?" She immediately replied, "Yes, Your Holiness, you are the Pope. I met you when I first came to the temple," although to her, that memory was now distant. Hearing this, Montanus too smiled and gently asked, "Tell me, what has the high priest done to you?" Although Bells felt a little scared, she was sure that this person would probably believe what she said, so she boldly replied, "This place is called the Room of Atonement. The high priest says that disobedient children are possessed by other spirits and will be locked in here. But please believe me, Your Holiness. I have never been possessed by evil spirits," Bells said, her voice choked with tears. Hearing this, the Pope gently comforted her. "All right, I see that too." After that, Dunkeski was taken away, and Montanus too outright expelled him from the temple from that day on, despite his screaming and begging, "Your Holiness, please hear me out." Furthermore, the priests involved in this matter will also be punished according to the laws of the temple. The Pope also ordered, "Clean up and close this room." How could such a disgusting act take place in the Holy Temple? And this astonished Bells. Even the Pope could not read the ancient script in this room. Bells really wanted to let everyone know that this room stole the abilities of the children, but she did not have enough evidence. Even so, such things would be difficult to happen in the future, so she was temporarily satisfied with it for now. Suddenly, Duke Liam spoke up, "Your Holiness, please hand these people over to us. It would be better if we reported this to the Royal Investigation Department and thoroughly investigated to see if anyone else is involved." At that moment, Bells thought to herself, if this matter were handed over to the investigation department, he would be treated as a criminal, and perhaps they would find out the purpose for which they were stealing the children's abilities. However, the Pope said this is a matter within the church. Do we really need to go that far? Hearing this, Liam mentioned Bells, "This child is someone I will be taking care of in the future. As you said, Your Holiness has signed the patronage papers. I came to officially sponsor this child, but now that I know what has happened, I cannot let it go." In the end, the Pope agreed, "Do as you wish. I will leave the handling of everything to you." Feeling deeply grateful, Liam solemnly said, "Thank you, Your Holiness." At that moment, Bells thought the Pope is a good person. However, he probably only has 4 or 5 years left to live because the white energy shows that his health is declining due to age, and there is no way to stop it. What I can do is pray that the blessings of the gods are always with the Pope. After that, Bells asked the Duke for his opinion and wanted to speak with the High Priest one last time. Because he had raised Bells until now, she wanted to say goodbye, but in reality, she had something she wanted to confirm before leaving. Now was also the time for Bells to change how she addressed him and only called him by his real name, Dunkeski, which infuriated him. You little brat, you have been brainwashed by the Duke, have not you?" At that moment, Bells thought, "Thanks to the dream I understood. This is the same energy as the soldiers who chased me in my previous life. I defeated those knights with this energy in the blink of an eye. Although I do not know how the enemy in my previous life used this power, I want to try if my ability works so I can protect the Duke's family. Possessed by a demon. It is Dunkeski." After Bells' power was unleashed, Dunkeski gradually collapsed, muttering in his mouth, "Goddess, please grant me some grace." After dealing with him, Bells immediately left, causing the soldiers there to panic and call out to him, "Hey, wake up and stand up." Bells secretly rejoiced, "Good, it seems my skills are still useful." Moreover, she sarcastically said to the High Priest, "The investigation department is all yours." Just as Bells was going up the stairs, she unexpectedly met Duke Liam. As Liam spoke, he checked Bells' body temperature and felt like she was burning up, so he immediately called Logan to quickly prepare the carriage and contact Gordon, telling him to examine her immediately. Although Logan suggested treating her temporarily at the temple before leaving, Bells really could not stay here any longer. Therefore, Liam had to indulge her wishes and left. "Let us go home, Bells." Scene change, Bells startled awake. Before returning, this was the room I used in the Duke's mansion. At this moment, Bells could not help but feel confused. I have completely returned to the Duke's mansion now. Because she used too much power when her body was exhausted, Bells unconsciously fell asleep in the Duke's arms. I have made a fool of myself again. Just then a maid entered. "You are awake, young lady." She bowed respectfully. "From today on, I am the maid Terra, the person who will take care of you, young lady. Please take care of me and I hope to serve you well." At that moment, Belza suddenly realized and blamed herself. How could I forget Tara? Terra was one of the few people in her previous life who had shown affection for her. Even though she often did bad and foolish things, She always smiled and treated her as if she saw the image of her younger siblings in her. But in the end, even Tara became like the others. She arbitrarily compared herself to Diana, and then assumed that she would be looked down upon, so she became cold and distant. In this mansion, only Tara was the only person who stood by her side, and when she realized it, it was too late. After all, that was also the reason she was kicked out. Therefore, when they met again this time, Bells could not help but rejoice and replied, "It is nice to see you again, Tara. I am Bells. Thanks to the Duke's patronage, I will be staying here from now on." At that moment, Bells felt truly happy. "Just wait, Tara, I will definitely treat the people who belong to me well." After that, Bells went to try on clothes. This dress was not too flashy, nor was it so simple as to be looked down upon. In her previous life, Bells had been talked about a lot for her way of dressing, so this time, she was very confident in her choice. Tara also offered to adjust the outfit for the young lady a little. Then suddenly Tara thought, at the temple, the things needed for children to develop, are not they even providing a minimum dinner, feeling a strange killing intent? Bells became a little worried and called out Tara. That is when she came to her senses. Why am I thinking about other things when the young lady is standing in front of me right now? I have to focus on taking care of the young lady. Speaking of which, Dr. Gordon heard that the young lady had collapsed and has concocted a new medicine for her. Hearing this, Bells could not help but be surprised. Concocted medicine again. Tara happily said, "Although the fever has gone down, it would be better for the young lady to take this medicine since she is often sick." Bells then took it but suddenly thought, this seems a bit too expensive. Then she closed her eyes and drank all the medicine in one gulp. Just then a stern voice rang out, "What are you doing now?" It was Lady Casten. She loudly said, "If you are ready, you need to bring the child down immediately," causing both Bells and Tara to startle and panic a little. Tara explained in confusion, "But you clearly said 3 of the clock because the young master is waiting, so if you are ready you have to go right away." However, Casten said, "The young lady should not have stepped into this duke's mansion in the first place, if it were before. Only because you have to treat the young master were you allowed in. I hope the young lady will complete the assigned task." Hearing this, Tara felt angry. "Lady Casten, that is too rude to the young lady." At that moment, Bells also stepped forward and said, "I am fine, Tara, what she said is very true. Lady Casten is a person of the late Duchess, and has also received special trust in this mansion, so acting recklessly is unwise." Bells then also spoke up, "Lady Casten, I will treat the young master, please lead the way." The reason was that the Duke had brought Bells here, so she needed to maintain basic etiquette, but in reality, they were looking at her with unkind eyes. Therefore she thought, if she proved that she could treat Joshua's wounds, then perhaps they would accept her. After that, Lady Casten nodded in agreement. "Please follow me, I will lead the way." And Bells went to meet the young master, Joshua. Seeing her, he waved, "Hello, sister." She was also surprised to see the young gentleman, Gordon. When she turned her attention to Joshua, Bells secretly felt relieved because it seemed that the energy in his heart had not worsened. First, Bells went to meet and chat with Dr. Gordon for a while. Gordon could not help but feel proud of his skills, because the medicine really had an amazing effect. Moreover, Gordon also offered to treat Bells if she was still in pain. Hearing this, she happily accepted. "I look forward to your help in the future, Mr. Gordon." Bells also said that, "Sir, if you can endure the treatment today, you won't need to take medicine in the future." Hearing this, Joshua was surprised. "You cannot take medicine." And Bells agreed to that. In addition, if Joshua could endure the treatment, she would definitely tell the Duke and reward him, with the condition that he not cry. Immediately afterwards, Bells began the treatment, and this time it needed to be done meticulously, like extinguishing the small remaining flames. Remember the feeling when you used your power on the high priest. So that the disease does not take root and spread elsewhere, it must be meticulous and accurate. After a while, Bells finally found it. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Just finish this. Just as she was about to complete the treatment, Lady Casten suddenly rushed in to stop her. "Stop immediately. Is not the young master in pain?" Causing Gordon to panic as well. "Lady Casten, what is wrong? Can't you see we are treating him?" While the two of them were arguing loudly, Bells slowly regained her composure. Because of Lady Casten, she almost made a mistake by having to quickly withdraw her power. Anyway, the energy has decreased quite a lot. If she could have treated him a little more, how great that would have been. Until now, Gordon and Casten still disagreed, but what Bells was more concerned about was Joshua's health, but as soon as she spoke to ask about it, Casten scolded, "Isn't it because of you that the young master's condition has gotten worse?" Suddenly, Joshua felt uncomfortable and itchy all over, which made her even more worried. Just then, the bandage on the wound unexpectedly fell off, causing Gordon to be shocked. The wound has really healed. That was also when Bells decided to make things clear with Lady Casten and prove her ability. As you can see, I can treat the young master. Although it is said that the young master's illness has been cured and has just passed a major milestone, he still needs more treatment. With each step, the power must be handled more meticulously. Just now, I should have been able to finish smoothly, but if I am pushed away by you before I can collect all the energy, then the young master may have been seriously injured. So I hope there won't be a second time for things like today that hinder my treatment. Hearing this, Lady Casten could not help but be flustered. Suddenly, she stood up angrily, but Joshua stopped her. He said, "It is your fault for pushing her. She was going to treat me, and she told me that if you do something wrong, you have to apologize first." Hearing this, Lady Casten realized in embarrassment. Immediately, she stood up and apologized to the young lady, and explained that, "I was worried that something unexpected would happen to the young master, so I was rude. If there is anything that displeases you, please punish me." Bells then spoke up, "No, on the contrary, I want to personally make a promise. Young master, I will definitely cure you, please trust me one more time." After that, Bells and Gordon continued to have a discussion, so if the treatment continues in the future, the medicine must be added with painkillers. Gordon also agreed with Bells' idea. The essence from blue fireflies is very good. This medicine both doubles the effectiveness and has a pain-relieving effect. At this moment, Bells suddenly realized that her power was still the same, but only the treatment effect had clearly increased thanks to the resonance with Mr. Gordon's medicine. Of course, the two of them will continue to cooperate and, in the future, will help each other to treat Joshua. Just then, Edwin walked in to check on Joshua. "Is the treatment all done?" At that time, Bells was also quite surprised. She thought to herself, probably because she did not think she would meet him again so quickly, every time they meet, she feels a little embarrassed. After that, Edwin also asked about Bells and she quickly replied, "I am fine now, Edwin." But when she was next to Edwin, Bells suddenly became clumsy and flustered. Could she call him that intimately? Indeed, it would still be better to call him young Duke. Unexpectedly, Edwin came closer and said, "We decided to call each other by our names when we meet next time." Joshua at that time was also excited and ran to Edwin. Moreover, ignoring his brother's words, he insisted that, in the house, whoever is a woman is a sister, so Bells is also a sister. Causing Edwin to be furious, Joshua hurriedly changed the subject. He said that the wound had completely healed when Sister Bells shone a light on it, but it was a pity that he could not see it. The results were really impressive. Hearing this, Edwin also felt very good and asked if the wound had completely healed. Just then a strange noise rang out, causing Bells to panic. Who was that just now? Lady Casten. So at this moment she saw Edwin and looked unhappy. Maybe it is because of me, because there are rumors saying I am inferior to Diana, but why is she like that with Edwin? Just as Edwin was about to check the wound on Joshua's leg, Casten spoke to stop him. She called out sternly, "Young master, isn't it time for you to go to sword training? You should go to the training room right now." The atmosphere immediately became heavy. Fortunately, Gordon spoke up in time. "As you said, young master needs to rest to regain his strength, that is all, everyone can go out now." Just as she was leaving, Joshua called Bells back. "Sister." He whispered into her ear, "Can you fulfill the wish I told you earlier?" causing her to wonder, is that okay? Finally, Bells agreed and asked what Joshua's wish was, and he smiled and replied, "Then let us play together." Scene change. Gordon at this time is chatting with Edwin. "You must be very busy, but you still take the time to stop by here." Edwin then replied, "It is just that before the sword training session starts I have some free time." He also asked about the new medicine he had given Bells, and Gordon replied, "That is right, when I concocted medicine for the young master, I also made a new medicine for her." Hearing this, Edwin also instructed Gordon, "Please pay attention to Bells, she always overworks herself." Gordon then said meaningfully, "It seems that you are particularly concerned about Bells," causing Edwin to be both embarrassed and flustered to retort, "I am just grateful that she treated Joshua. If you keep saying useless words, then leave." At that moment, Gordon commented that Lady Casten's bias since the day the young Duke and the young master went out for a walk together seems to have become serious. And Gordon had offered to talk to the Duke, but Edwin refused. He also said, "After the mother I had taken care of all my life passed away, according to my father, she has probably had a hard time since mother passed away. Perhaps that is why she is particularly obsessed with Joshua, who looks a lot like mother." Although Gordon thought that even so, Acting like that was too disrespectful. Edwin thought that Joshua was injured because of my carelessness. Therefore, I can understand Lady Casten's feelings, because that injury had put Joshua in a dangerous situation. And it has been a long time since I have seen such a face of Joshua. I am just happy to know that he is no longer in pain. Meanwhile, Joshua is very happy. How about it, sister? This is a diamond, and this is an emerald from our family's mine. Bells could not help but be surprised. When she heard it was a wish, she wondered what it was, but she did not expect it to be playing with such precious stones. As long as you are happy. Joshua also gave Bells a ring that our mother liked the most. It would be better if I could wear it myself every day, but my hand is still small so I can't wear it. I sometimes take it out to play like this. Hearing this, Bells realized. This is how Joshua keeps the memory of his mother. But wait a minute. If the ring is too big to wear then. And then, Bells came up with a way. If she did this, Joshua could carry it with him without having to wear it on his hand. Although it is only a temporary solution, in the future, ask the Duke to find a necklace that really suits you. This made Joshua both touched and excited. I like it so much, sister. Thank you, I really like it. While they were having fun, Casten's voice rang out. Young master, it is time to stop. Sir, moreover, there is Tara here to pick up the young lady. Should not you also return to your room? But Joshua wanted to play a little longer. Seeing this, Bells smiled and said, we will play again next time. Now I live in the Duke's house too. So Joshua cheered up. Okay. After that, the two of them competed with each other, who would clean up this mess the fastest. At that time, Bells suddenly thought that Lady Casten seemed to have calmed down a bit after leaving earlier. In her previous life, Bells had never seen Lady Casten chatting with Edwin, and also did not know at all that the relationship between the two of them was so bad. Before coming to this mansion, had something happened between them? Unable to suppress her curiosity, Bells asked Tara, the relationship between Edwin and Lady Casten. Have you ever seen the two of them together? It does not seem like they have a good relationship. I am just wondering if something has happened. Hearing this, Tara hesitated and replied, actually. It must be from that incident. When the two of them went out together, the young Master Joshua had a serious accident. Before that, Lady Casten was very similar to the late Duchess, especially caring and loving to the young master. It was because of that incident that the relationship began to become strained. Bells, after hearing this, sighed sadly. In her previous life, it was because of that incident that Joshua almost died, and Lady Casten had always resented Edwin, even though in reality he was not at fault. Seeing the young lady like that, Tara then encouraged, the young lady is still taking good care, so the young master is fine. I think the relationship will gradually improve. And Bells also mentioned the ring in Joshua's jewelry box. Tara then asked, is it the blue ring that the young lady is talking about? Moreover, Bells was also worried that it was an object that she should not touch. But Tara then said, no, if the young master allows it, it is okay. When she knew that the ring was an item that the Duchess especially loved, the young master often hid it away and rarely took it out to see. Lady Casten had asked the reason, but the young master refused to say. Perhaps it is better not to mention the ring in front of her. This made Bells also feel worried, so it is that important. Scene change. A few days later at the Duke's residence, Liam and Edwin decided to go to the temple for a while. They said that they needed to complete the sponsorship procedures for Bells. Initially Liam planned to go alone, but Edwin wanted to personally go there to hear everything directly. Therefore, Liam had no choice but to give up on this stubborn child and let him go along. Then Liam stepped into the carriage and also did not forget to instruct Logan. Thank you for looking after the mansion while I am away. Because of that reason, today the Duke and young Duke will not have dinner at home. Tara hurriedly asked, while you are not treating the young master, is there anything you want to do, young lady? Hearing this, Bells pondered. Then she happily replied, then can you prepare paper and pens for me? I want to practice writing more. From the time she returned from her previous life until now, Bells has always felt overwhelmed. She had met the people in the Duke's family much faster than she had predicted. Because there are many things, from treating Joshua to other things. So Bells has not been able to clearly arrange her life in the future, when reviewing the list of plans to be implemented. Regarding items 1 and 2, Bells is still doing very well. If she continues as she is now, she thinks the third goal will not be a problem. However, to prevent unexpected situations, Bells will need power, and cannot continue to receive sponsorship from the Duke's family forever. Because Bells knows where that is, she does not need to worry about it now, but what about the lost heart? Surely in her previous life Bells and Edwin had left it there. Now after returning to her previous life, she can't know where it is. Although Bells really wanted to retrieve it immediately, she had absolutely no clue where it might be. When she was young, at least Bells could use the excuse of being in poor health, but when she grows up, there will definitely be many difficult challenges. At that moment, there was a lot of noise outside, which made Bells curious. She immediately ran out of the room and asked Tara what was going on. Suddenly, Casten came with 2 maids and requested to inspect the young lady's room. Because the Duchess's ring had been lost, Bells was flustered upon hearing the news. That ring, it is missing. Casten even presented evidence. In the corridor connecting the young master's room to the young lady's room, a string from the young lady's dress was found. So please cooperate with us. As she finished speaking, Tara stepped forward to intervene. Just because of that, you are treating the young lady as the culprit. But then, Bells had to open the door for them, she thought, because this incident happened right after she arrived. It is understandable in this situation, it is better to cooperate to prove her innocence. Immediately after that, Bells invited them in. Feel free to search as you please. Even though the current situation is quite unfavorable, Bells is sure that the jewelry was arranged by herself and Joshua, which means that afterwards, someone else took the ring. What is the purpose after all? Bells even threw the string in the hallway. Suddenly, the maid Anna shouted, I found it. After checking, Casten admitted, it was the Duchess's missing ring. Bells panicked at this moment and shouted loudly, no way, I did not steal the ring. Casten immediately retorted, then why is it here? This ring is from the young lady's room. This situation is not good. Bells could not help but worry. It is too coincidental that after she touched the ring, it went missing but was found in her room. Someone will think she is a thief. Just then Joshua appeared. Stop it, Casten. Because the young master's health is not good, she was worried and ran over. Young master, you ran here, let me take you back to your room to rest immediately. Joshua at this moment sobbed and pleaded, it could not be her. She made a necklace from mother's ring for me. After that, Mrs. Casten had to hug and comfort Joshua. Calm down and tell me everything. Hearing their unfounded judgments, Bells suddenly realized, wait, the string she attached to the ring. You were the one who found the string, right? Anna hearing this replied, that is right. This is also the answer that Bells found. She then said, it is strange, the person who saw me make the ring into a necklace with the string from my dress. Besides me, only Joshua, Mrs. Casten and Tara saw it. Then how did you know my dress string was tied to the ring? Anna panicked at this moment and retorted, surely everyone does not really believe this child's words. I have no grudge against the young lady at all. Why would I bother framing the young lady? Hearing this, Bells stammered that, then suddenly a voice rang out, this is also something that needs to be investigated from now on. Surprising Bells, who turned around to take a look. It turned out to be the Duke. Liam immediately ordered, arrest that person. Moreover, Edwin was also there. Liam insisted on investigating the matter himself. Casten then spoke up, Duke, there is still no evidence. This action is too much. I understand this child very well. Suddenly Anna shouted, there is nothing to investigate, because the ring was found in this room, so the young lady is definitely the culprit. Liam then growled, Anna, why are you acting so rudely in front of the Duke? So what if Bells is not the culprit? The real culprit is the one who dared to touch the master's belongings. The crime deserves to be punished, and the crime of insulting a member of the Duke's family is also added. Bells is the benefactor who treated Joshua and is the person I recognize as a member of the Calios family. Words and actions that are disrespectful to her are the same as doing it to me, making Bells touched. He is trusting me, is not he? Edwin also spoke up, it would be better if you prayed while being investigated. I only hope that there is no evidence proving that you are the culprit. Because Calios will not forgive those who dare to touch the family. If discovered, you will not be able to escape the heaviest punishment. Casten worriedly told the Duke, Anna is not that kind of person. But then suddenly, Anna knelt down and begged, please spare my life. Every day the lenders come to demand debts because there are too many. I thought about stealing to pay them off. At that time, I overheard the conversation between Logan and Mrs. Casten, so I knew the location of the jewelry box and the ring, so I stole them. But the ring went missing, was discovered faster than I thought, and I was also afraid that my criminal act would be discovered. Finally, Liam called the soldiers in to take Anna away. Regardless of her begging and repentance, I won't do it again, Duke. And everything was resolved smoothly. If it were not for the appearance of the Duke and Edwin, Bells would have been falsely accused of being the culprit. Meanwhile, Mrs. Casten felt really guilty. She then called, young lady, I am sorry because I was too worried about the Duchess's missing ring, that I suspected the young lady of being the culprit just because of vague evidence. I apologize for my rudeness at that time. Bells thought to herself, it was a completely understandable situation. I do not expect an apology like this. But then she happily replied, thank you, Mrs. Casten for apologizing to me. I am fine, from now on let us live well together. But Casten said, no, young lady. I want to take responsibility for this matter. And I will leave the Duke's family. After the ring theft, because she felt responsible for the incident, Mrs. Casten left so as not to affect the Duke's family. Standing in front of the young master's persuasion, she still did not change her mind. She really is going to leave. She wants to leave the manor quietly as soon as possible, respecting that decision. This time as well, I am wary of young Lady Bells, the benefactor of the young master. I even suspected the young lady of being the culprit. Now it is probably time for me to leave this manor for the young master. Joshua's words surprised her. She simply misses mother like I do. The prince game that she taught was really fun because I can freely play with the relics of mother, who abandoned me. However, from some point, her face when looking at mother's relics became sad. So I hid the ring and did not let anyone touch it. If I knew we would have to part like this, I would not have done that. That action made Casten very happy. Do not cry, young master. I am very happy to have served such a warm young master, seeing that Bells thought that she could live well in this life. It is a pity that it turned out like this. After that, Casten also paid attention to Bells. Then, young lady, please take good care of the young master. Suddenly she felt that she had to grow up more, even though she felt that she was not trustworthy enough when witnessing Diana's treatment, but she will try her best to treat Joshua. That is not what Casten wanted to say. That is not it. The young lady is not lacking at all. On the contrary, if I have the opportunity to meet young Lady Diana, I even want to say that young Lady Bells does not have to worry about anything. But Bells still did not understand. What do you mean? Casten explained. When young Lady Diana visited the manor before, she was worried about young Lady Bells' weak treatment ability. Often asked me how to comfort the young lady. However, now the young lady has arrived and she really feels very lucky. If during the time at the Duke's manor Diana mentioned Belle's weak treatment ability, now she understood why the people in the Duke's family could not trust her. So why did Diana say such words? Is she really worried about me? Or is there another reason? Joshua's voice from behind. Are you okay, Bells? You have been silently looking out the window this whole time, Bells said. Ah, because Mrs. Casten suddenly left. I feel regretful. It seems that he was very sad because Mrs. Casten left. I have never seen Joshua so sad. Perhaps Joshua will be very lonely for a while, so I have to be by his side, but I have not seen Edwin anywhere since a while ago, he said. Ah, if it is him, he is probably at the training ground now. This is the time the swordsmanship class is taking place. He does not want anyone to see him practice, so I have never seen him either. How sly. Edwin's swordsmanship skills have been outstanding since he was little, when young in training sessions, although I really wanted to see, but knowing that he did not like it. It would be impolite if Bells peeked. What a pity. Then let us play swordsmanship, Joshua excitedly said. Great, let us start. The Duke's manor after a few noisy days quickly returned to its previous peace. Since that day, 2 changes have occurred in the Duke's manor. One is the change in the servants' attitude towards Bells. Was different from before. The second change is because Mrs. Casten left. Joshua has a replacement caregiver. Bells thought that even though she still misses Mrs. Casten because he is still young, he will definitely overcome it quickly and live well again. Whenever she has free time after treating Joshua, Bells often goes to the forest alone and is busy finding everything. The reason is to find her financial resources. Really, where is it after all? My financial resource, fairy grass. What I am looking for is fairy grass. It is a mysterious herb that appears in the original work. It is a plant with wonderful uses, mainly in beautifying the skin. There is a description that it only grows in the garden of the Duke's family. Just because I believe that statement, I have been working hard these days. In the original work it was clearly said that it is nearby. Today I probably have to go home empty-handed again. Suddenly Bells heard something, the sound of swords. That is right, there is a training ground nearby. If so, could it be that Edwin is training? It is true that Edwin was practicing swords here. Finally Bells secretly came here to see. It is really Edwin. It is probably okay if I just watch for a bit, right? I am too curious. What should I do? As long as I am not discovered that I watched. Great, it really is Edwin. But someone else's voice seems to be very angry. How many more times do I have to tell you to understand that the posture is wrong? Crawling on the floor like a worm. With such terrible skills like a worm, can you lead the Duke's family? Bells did not think that even if it was training, he would say such insulting words. Joliet kept saying, how many times have I told you to relax the strength in your right leg? Are you completely incapable of learning? Edwin's body was tired. If I relax the strength in my legs and move, I can accelerate. When facing a stronger person, it will be difficult for me to endure. However, Joliet did not want the other party to give up. On the battlefield, do you think such excuses will work? Come on, pick up the sword again. At this time Bells vaguely realized. If it is Edwin's swordsmanship teacher, then it is Knight Sven. Joliak Sven is one of the knights who used to sweep the battlefield with the Duke. Because of a leg injury he regrettably had to retire. He was recognized for his talent by the Duke and was hired as Edwin's swordsmanship teacher. In my previous life I saw Edwin training because he completely refused to show it. I did not know. No matter what, the intensity of the training is too harsh. This is one-sided torture, Joliak said. You are already tired with just this much. Is someone like this the heir to the Duke's family? The future of Calios is so dark. At this point Bells could not bear it anymore. She angrily rushed out, apologize. Don't say careless words about Edwin. What do you know? Edwin is the best heir to the Duke's family. Is the person who will lead the Duke's family better than anyone else. No one can and does not know anything. Say sorry to Edwin, you do not have the right to say such words. The matter of Bells arguing with Joliak reached Liam's ears so. This is how the great Sven came to the manor. The rumors about the Saintess candidate are completely wrong, right? Not as I expected at all. The kid's punch is quite strong. Bells still felt that she was completely right, Mr. Sven said those words to Edwin. And Edwin also spoke up. I personally requested training from father and teacher. I want to become stronger as soon as possible. Now I am too weak to protect the things I cherish. Belle's mood gradually calmed down so, nurturing the Duke's family, is also a part of the training, Joliak explained. In a way that is right, it is a form of provocation. In a match, emotions can fluctuate unexpectedly, making swordsmanship sometimes unstable. I do not hope that kid will be caught up in that provocation, little miss. Bells felt extremely embarrassed. What, so that is what it was? Liam just asked her a question. Have you ever heard of the Dark Order? Bells replied. When I was at the temple, I was taught that they are the representatives of the Duke who protect this nation. That is what Liam wanted to mention. That is right. The Dark Order is the Duke's living weapon, mainly operating in the dark, and they are the Duke's right hand for many generations. But Bells did not understand why he suddenly talked about the Dark Order. Liam pondered and said, in fact, Edwin has requested the order to become a part of the Dark Order, and said that he can take it if he beats Sven. Now Bells understood, so that is what Edwin meant when he said to become stronger. That is the reason why Mr. Sven increased the intensity of the training. After all, the leadership of the Dark Order is being threatened. Liam said, he is the friend who saved my life and is the person I trust the most, so do not blame Mr. Sven too much. Bells thought it seems that the Duke respects Joliak very much. In that case, I should make sure that this matter will not cause trouble for him anymore. I apologize, Mr. Sven. Joliak chuckled. It is okay. By the way, have you ever thought about becoming a knight? The young lady also has talent. Seeing that the situation was not very good, Liam considered, you should stop teasing her like that. The kid is about to cry again. Joliak laughed out loud. It is not just a joke. I saw some of your strengths today. I commend your courage when trying to save the young master, but the courage to sacrifice yourself will probably even bring big trouble. No one wants that. But Edwin did not understand. Bells, why are you at the training ground? That is a place you should not come to. Belle's eyes were a bit evasive. Recently I have been reading books about herbs. I was curious about what kind of herbs would be in the Duke's forest. Edwin was also curious. Herbs? What kind of herbs are you talking about? Bells described it. Right, the herbs that I read about have pink heart-shaped leaves, with a pleasant sweet scent. I guess even Edwin does not know where it is, right? He thought for a moment, is it heart-shaped? If it is that kind, I know where it is. Is it really that rare? Is it really that rare? When speaking, Bells still did not dare to look straight, of course. This is an extremely rare herb that even Mr. Gordon's herb collection does not have. How did Edwin know about it? It seems that Edwin had a little difficulty recounting. Actually, before Joshua was injured, he used to love exploring around the Duke's manor with me. We found this place back then. Bells did not ask further, I understand, but hey. Edwin, there is a cut on your cheek. He touched his face. It seems that I was injured during training earlier. If left alone it will heal on its own. Suddenly Bells touched Edwin's face. Wait a minute. I will heal it quickly. But Edwin pushed her away. Do not. You do not know how using magical power will put pressure on you. Do not waste it on such a small wound. Bells was still stubborn, that is when going over the limit, but now I am completely healthy, so it is okay. Edwin was very angry. You always say you are okay even when you are in a difficult situation. My teacher was right, sometimes you are too strong. While you are forcing yourself too much and falling down, do you think about how the people waiting for you to wake up feel? Did I scare him? I am sorry for raising my voice. What I want to say is. Bells was touched by that. Are you worried about me now? Edwin's face instantly turned red. He did not hide it either. That is right. I am worried. Do not do that again. After Bells returned, she really wanted to repay the Duke's family. She thought it did not matter what happened to her. But if there are people who care about her like this, I understand Edwin. From now on I won't let you worry anymore. Would it be okay if she yearned for a future with them by her side? Gordon bandaged Edwin's wound. Done. Everything's considered done. Even if the command of the Black Shadow Order is related, Mr. Sven's training intensity is becoming more and more harsh. Are you really okay, young master? Edwin silently said. Leave it, that matter is over. Even Bells felt that way. That is right. Thanks to the Duke's words, all the misunderstandings were resolved. Honestly speaking, Mr. Sven's training intensity is somewhat harsh. Edwin is probably the one who understands this best because he is the one training. Are you really okay? Suddenly Gordon called her. Bells, come here and show me your hand. This is medicine containing Relius that you talked about. Now there is no more falling, right? Bells looked excited when receiving it. Yes, thanks to it I have been feeling very energetic lately. Thank you. Gordon pointed to the medicine bottle. That is right. Because I used up all the precious medicinal materials to make medicine for you. Bells said, by the way, I also have something I want to give you. It is even better than Relius. Gordon was even more afraid of her than anyone else. Enough, I would rather take the liver of a flea. Gordon's nose sensed a strange smell. Wait a minute, this smell is. Could it be fairy grass? In his previous life Gordon also had the hobby of collecting and gathering all kinds of herbs throughout the country. His herb collection has a few gaps. One of them is fairy grass. Gordon was very panicked when he saw it. Kid, no, where did you get that? But Bells did not reveal it. That is a business secret, Edwin curiously asked. Sir, is this herb that precious? Not only that, Gordon was confident when talking about it. Of course, fairy grass is a rare herb that has wonderful effects on the skin. There are even documents that when used as incense, it can make the skin as smooth as the skin of a fairy. Bells also wanted to try planting this kind when she heard it. It seems that Gordon knows quite a bit about it. If successful, it can be used in many different fields, but with a handful like this, there is no hope. Before even planting it, it might all die. Bells chimed in. So if I bring more, it might be successful, right? Gordon said in surprise. There is more of this. It is here. But Bells said that is a secret. If you do not help me, I can't tell you. Because Gordon really needs it. Wait a bit. When did I say no? I did say it would be difficult. If you provide a little more information, I will consider it. As expected, he fell into Bells' trap. I discovered it in a place with little sunlight. Ah, it grows next to a dead tree. Does that help? Because it is a shady place. There are no other herbs or trees around. I did not see any prominent plants. Gordon thought, it is a parasite then. Next time at least you have to bring back the bark. Take some of the surrounding soil to try. Bells smiled secretly. But a moment ago he said it was impossible. As expected, it is Gordon. I knew the skill was not anything to worry about. After that Gordon questioned her. But what are you planning to do after planting it? Fairy grass is good for the skin, but its taste is too bitter. Is not it a type of herb that can't be used as tea? Leaves. Also for that reason Diana in the original work made incense bags instead of tea from fairy grass. However, because incense bags require quite a lot of herbs, because she could not solve the planting problem, she eventually only produced a very small amount. However, Bells with just a very small amount, she knows how to keep the fragrance more effectively than incense bags. That is a business secret. Gordon snapped. Enough, kid. How can you have so many business secrets when you are not doing any business? Okay, I was wondering why you showed me this. Bells interrupted. I will give it to you. Whether it is about rules or anything else, this is just something I am giving you. This type of herb, you said you wanted it. Of course it is true. This is an official bribe. If it is Gordon, I think I can trust and entrust it to you. This precious type of herb. Because it is Gordon, that is why I trust and entrust it. Gordon tightly grasped the bag of fairy grass in his hand. Or trust me, Bells, that type of herb I can plant as much as you want. Bells felt that she had succeeded. The problem of planting herbs in large quantities was solved in this way. This is still just the beginning. In this world there are medicines and there are also doctors. There are also saintesses who can heal people who are about to die in the blink of an eye. Which is the main concern of the noble young ladies. There are no dermatology clinics that help slow down aging and improve beauty. So I will rely on fairy grass. I will start a dermatology clinic business in this world. Gordon will be the director of the dermatology hospital. And I will be the president, then live a comfortable life. Gordon wondered and asked, so what is planting this for? Is it a business secret? It is true that if this type of herb can be planted, it will bring a great development to the medical industry. Then I will participate in this plan with you. In other words, I am your partner. If you show me the growing place, then I can plant it faster. Bells is not easily deceived. If I succeed in planting, I will inform you this type of herb needs about 3 months to grow. To be on the safe side, at least keep the growing place intact. Tara appeared again. Gordon, do not argue with the young lady anymore, you two. The sound of your quarrel is echoing outside. Really, I do not know who is 5 years old and who is 65 years old. Young lady, the Duke is looking for you. Edwin also wanted to go. Then I will also go. By the way, I also have something to say, Tara said. The Duke said that there is an important matter. He only wants to talk to the young lady. If there is something to say, I will relay it to him. Young Duke, Bells felt a bit surprised. Only an important matter for me. What does he plan to say after all? Young Lady Bells has arrived. And Duke Liam has been waiting for her. It is not because of the matter of Sven that he called me. Do not be too nervous. Actually, I was planning to give it later, but thanks to the things that have happened until now, I have made a decision. In front of Bells is a place she has never seen. Is this a secret passage? Liam turned back and said, "Follow me, Bells. I have someone I want to introduce you to." Bells could not see the end of the path. So there was a secret passage hidden in the Duke's mansion. Even in her previous life, he had never told her about this. Seeing her unease, Liam supported her. "Sorry for troubling you. The path down is dark and it is easy to fall, so I have to be careful. If you feel uncomfortable, I will put you down." Bells was a little embarrassed. "Thank you, Your Grace." He is smiling because he always had a stern and scary image. I always felt so distant. Now he is not as scary as before. On the contrary, every action of care and concern feels incredibly warm. Liam explained a little. This is the path to the secret vault that only the head of the Calios family is allowed to enter. In the religious war that took place hundreds of years ago, you know that the Calios family participated in that war, right? This secret vault was created to store the spoils of war won during that period. Bells exclaimed, "That is Arcea's arrow." Liam nodded. "It seems you have been studying the Bible diligently. It is said that the first saintess used that to destroy the monsters." Bells continued, "That is the ring of the heretics." Liam agreed. "You also know well about the objects of the heretics. Here there are not only sacred objects, but also many spoils looted from the heretics of that time. They are all things that Bells only saw in the Bible. Is he going to show me these things?" Liam pointed to something ahead. "That is the gift I want to give you. This is not an ordinary teddy bear. This is a special item made by minority ethnic groups who believe that the souls of the gods reside in dolls. So hello, Bells. From now on, it will be responsible for protecting you." Bells took it. "This doll is soft and cute. Is it my bodyguard?" "No matter how you look at it, it just looks like a normal bear." Liam chuckled. "That is right for now. Now you just need to channel holy power into it. Then this teddy bear will become your bodyguard, and also proof that you are being protected by the Calios family. Can you do it like when you healed Joshua?" Bells slowly tried it. "This is something that the Duke has specially prepared for me with his concern. Even if it is the first time, I must be able to do it. Okay, the bear is absorbing my holy power. Surely the holy power going into this is more than when I was healing Joshua. If I fall down again, it will be troublesome. What should I do?" Seeing this, Liam reassured her. "Don't worry, Bells. You are doing very well." Bells gradually became more spirited. "That is right, this is the first gift that the Duke has given me. I have to try a little harder. Just a little more. It is done." Liam said, "The agreement has been established." But Bells did not understand. "Your Grace, nothing has happened." Liam said, "Now you just need to name the bear." Bells looked at it without understanding. "Name it. Suddenly telling me to name it like that." Liam guided her step by step. "Just choose any name. Give it a name that is easy to call and easy to remember." Finally, Bells named it Dory. Suddenly it flew straight up. Not only that, it could also talk. "Hello everyone, my name is Bear Dory, and I am Belle's bodyguard." Bells opened her arms. Bear is not it Bear Dory, Liam thought. Perhaps it took the stutter into its name. From that day on, the Duke began to give Bells many gifts, starting with Bear Dory, even though he said it was to announce that she was receiving the protection of Calios. First, starting with moving her residence. "Tara and the butler are very busy. Please put the young lady's clothes near that wardrobe. Please put it near the window. Hurry up, it must be done before today." The dresses, jewelry, and even furniture. Everything was replaced with new items, and the room was gradually filling up. Thinking that staying in the room would only cause obstruction, Bells went outside. There is nothing to do. Joshua is probably exercising today to restore his cardiovascular system. Gordon is also busy planting fairy herbs. Then the rest is. The butler handed her something. "Okay, because it is heavy, please be careful, young lady. The young master is currently training with Sir Sven in the training ground. It is probably break time now. Please deliver this to the young master for me." Bells was quite excited to take it. "I will go find Edwin as requested by the butler. I am definitely not going to find him for personal reasons. I wonder if Edwin is still doing that training today." Even though it is for the command of the Black Shadow Squad, the training is too harsh. I hope I can change the training method. Although it may be wishful thinking, fighting Sir Sven is no different from a real war, as if the strong are bullying the weak. Of course, the Duke could not possibly allow such a thing to happen, so there probably won't be any danger. He is still training, so I have to wait a bit. As soon as she entered, she heard Joliak's voice again. The right foot is still touching the ground. Bells did not expect it to be a real sword. He is training with a real sword now. Edwin spoke while looking behind him, not tired yet. Joliak still did not know anything. Good attitude. The enemies on the battlefield won't forgive you even if you beg them. A weak commander only knows how to sacrifice his subordinates. Edwin's mood did not let those words reach his ears. Sir Sven becomes violent when he is agitated, not distinguishing between opponents. If Sir Sven finds out about Bells now, I do not know what will happen. I can't let him find out about her. Seeing Edwin keep looking behind him, Joliak asked, "How long have you been so absent-minded? Is there something behind me?" But Edwin stopped him before he turned around. "For Sven, could it be that you regret saving my father that day?" Joliak's eyes became blank. "Currently, what is the reason for you asking that question?" Edwin said, "Because you talked about a weak commander, because I thought you might regret the sacrifice that day." Sir Sven extremely hates it when someone mentions this. At least if his attention is focused on me, Bells won't be in danger. Just end the match quickly in the meantime. Joliak sighed and looked up at the sky. While fighting with a real sword, you can be so free as to be curious about that. It seems you are quite confident in your strength. Well, if you win against me in this match, I will answer you. Edwin tried his best. Wait on the left foot, there's going to be a strong attack soon. I have to create distance. What is wrong? Where is he looking? Could it be Sir Sven? He recognized Bells' existence from the beginning. Joliak quickly rushed towards Bells. Edwin screams in vain, "Run away. Sven, I have one more thing I want to say to you." "Damn it, the distance is too far, I can't stop him." Joliak was very close to Bells. A person who is complacent with his swordsmanship can't protect what is important. Bells stood there looking at the danger rushing towards her. His sword was now right next to Bells. She looked at the person in front and called Sir Sven. But then the sword was knocked out of Joliak's hand. Another person appeared next to Bells. "What is it? Why does not it hurt?" Liam was very angry. "Sven, what are you doing? This seems to be a situation that needs explaining." Joliak was very confused. "Your Grace, I did not intend to hurt the young lady." "Surely your Grace knows. The path of the sword avoided the young lady." But Liam did not care. "Whatever your intention may be, it is best to restrain actions that cause danger. Because your body is not the same as before." Joliak's attitude changed. "Why can your Grace say that?" Bells sensed this aura. "That is the aura I felt from the sacred mirror." Joliak said seriously, "I became like this because I protected you." Edwin stood in front of her. "Bells, do not open your eyes until I say so." Joliak gradually lost his composure. "After ruining everything, you say this, the suggestion to be this kid's teacher, I really can't believe it." Liam advised, "You are agitated right now. Cool down a bit and then come back." Joliak looked worriedly. "Sir Sven, it seems like you are a different person from the first time we met. It sounds like you have been resenting the Duke for a long time." Joliak's voice rang out again. "Finally, it is the plan I have been cherishing for a long time. Because I am determined to carry it out." Liam's eyes narrowed. He hid a dagger. Fortunately, Liam knocked away the dagger before it headed towards Bells and Edwin. Bells could not believe it. Just now, he really intended to harm the Duke. What is going on right now? Joliak stubbornly held the dagger in his hand. Liam had long guessed his actions. "To this extent, because of your previous merits, I will overlook this time." Joliak did not care. "I refuse. Even if I stop here, what I have lost will never return. So take the despair that I had to endure." Liam's sword was stained with blood. Edwin said, "It is okay now. You can open your eyes." Seeing this, Bells felt more at ease. "I can't feel Sir Sven's aura anymore. What on earth is going on?" Liam turned to ask, "Thank goodness. You two must have been very surprised." "Then go and rest." Edwin handed it over to him. "Before that, you have something to give me. This is a piece of paper found in Sir Sven's room, with the following content. What is most precious to parents is their children. I hope the person who stole your precious thing will receive the same pain." Liam took the paper with a thoughtful heart. This is a piece of paper that seems like someone instigated Sven. Moreover, Edwin directly giving me this. Even though he knew what Sven was plotting, Edwin endured the training without telling Bells. At Belle's room, she was bandaging Edwin's wounds. You told me not to use magic. If you do not treat it, it will become a scar, so endure it a little. Edwin thought, if I am a knight, having a scar on my face is nothing. Hearing this, Bells was very angry. Stop it, no way. A wound on your face, that is a loss for the entire nation. You have to use good medicinal herbs to treat it so it does not leave a scar. Why is Mr. Gordon absent at a time like this? Hey Edwin, can't you stop Sir Sven? Thinking of the purple flames that Sir Sven showed, I still regret that perhaps my holy power could have resolved that matter. Edwin said, everyone knows that one day Sir Sven might cause trouble. It is just that today was that day. The resentment that had been building up for so long will finally explode, with just a small action. Bells still did not understand. Then why did not you request to change sword instructors? Surely if the Duke knew he would. Edwin shook his head. My father owes him a favor. Sven was the knight my father trusted the most. I heard he was very proud of his swordsmanship. A subordinate like that had to put down his sword just to protect my father. I heard my father felt extremely remorseful about that. So my father must have turned a blind eye to his increasingly rude changes. So I also thought that if I endured, everything would pass smoothly because the training with Sir Sven was also coming to an end. But now thinking about it, I wonder if my progress has caused him to fall deeper into despair. Someone took advantage of that gap to instigate Sven. Understand, this time is not your fault. Bells stared at Edwin. Then she jumped in and hugged him. In my previous life he also carried this sadness. Later, if there is anything like this again, you have to tell me, okay? Edwin responded to her hug. Okay, I understand. Promise you. Scene changes to the palace. Looking at Belle's sad, teary-eyed face, Edwin Calios was very worried. Bells, is she still crying? And he thought to himself, let us see if there is anything to change the subject of the story. Immediately Edwin spotted the cute teddy bear on the cabinet. That seems good. He immediately blurted out to Bells, that bear seems to be a gift from my father, right? Bells was very surprised and asked, how did you know I received it from the Duke? Edwin said, my father showed it to me before. So it is teddy bear mode now. Bells innocently replied, to save divine power. The Duke told me to do so because I thought there would not be anything to use it for here. Hearing that, Edwin was very hesitant. So she probably also knows this is an item of heresy, right? Then he continued to ask, have you tried the other modes? Belle's face turned blank, not understanding anything. Other modes, what do you mean? Edwin explained, didn't my father tell you about that? Besides teddy bear mode, there is also protection or assassination mode and many other modes. Among them, the mode I like the most is giant mode. This mode is very suitable when you want to climb to high places. Bells listened and was very impressed, eyes wide open. Mouth agape said, so there is such a mode. Then she imagined the scene, Edwin riding a giant bear. Seeing her mysterious and excited face, Edwin was very confused. What are you imagining? Then Bells wondered, could it be that this bear was originally Edwin's? You know how to use it so well, right? Edwin answered in a very obvious way, because I am the heir, so it is understandable. Surely the schedule has been cancelled because of today's incident. Let us take a nap together, Bells. Although Edwin was about to fall asleep, Bells was still very curious and excited, asking, can the heir do that? Edwin jumped up immediately, happily saying, so what? We are also children who have gone through a big event today, right? Seeing Edwin grab her hand, Bells was just stunned. With a slightly sad expression, she lowered her head in contemplation and thought, I know you have just been saying meaningless jokes to comfort me. After that, Edwin pulled Bells down to sleep and gently instructed her, we promised to call each other that, right? Now you can't say it anymore. Bells replied, understood, and was reminded by Edwin, but that is also saying it here. Bells was very grateful for Edwin's concern for her. She just kept looking at him. Even though he is young, he is always very gentle. So I really liked you. Then Bells also fell asleep without thinking much. Scene changes to the Duke's mansion a few months later. Bells pondered over the past few months. It has been a few months since I came to the Duke's mansion. During this time I have been taking care of Joshua or spending time with Mr. Gordon. And being recognized as a member of the Duke's family, I am living every day like that. One beautiful day, Bells naturally looked out the window and discovered something. She wondered, why are there carriages? I did not hear that there would be guests coming to the mansion today. Suddenly someone came to call her. Young lady. The guests have arrived. Bells was startled and surprised and asked, "Are they the young lady's guests?" The butler immediately replied, "Yes, they are guests from the Berlote Margrave family. That is Miss Diana." Bells quickly went to change clothes. As soon as she put on the beautiful dress, the maids were in an uproar. Everyone's eyes lit up and they praised, "Oh my, young lady, so perfect," but Bells was still hesitant and said, "Thank you, but is it necessary to dress up so elaborately? Diana did not come here to see me but to see Joshua." Actually, the reason Diana suddenly visited the Duke's mansion without prior notice was because she heard that I had succeeded in treating Joshua, so she came to visit. I heard she came to apologize for failing to treat Joshua before. Bells also thought, even though Diana can use divine power, because Joshua's body is not stable, the divine power may be unstable and fail. Yet she came to apologize. Truly the female lead in a romance novel is also a saintess, currently only a candidate. The close maid, while arranging Belle's hair, said, "Anyway, Miss Diana has directly requested to meet her longtime friend Bells again. We have to show her that we are still healthy and living well." Hearing her say that, Bells felt it made sense. She thought again, that is right, since Diana left to return to the Margrave's mansion, we have not met again. She must be very curious, so I have to be determined. Taking this opportunity, I will show Diana the clear changes. In this life, I will try to be friends with her. Scene changes. Bells and the maid came to the door of the reception room. The maid excitedly knocked on the door, but Bells was restless and worried. But when she thought that Diana was behind this door, she felt strangely nervous. As soon as the door opened, the maid respectfully said, "Miss Bells, please come in." As soon as she stepped in and saw Diana, Bells froze, sprayed with glue. Tens of thousands of questions were raised. In her head, what should be the first greeting? "Long time no see, Diana." No, first I must apologize first. But before she could say a word, Diana ran over and hugged Bells tightly. Also said with enthusiasm, "I really miss you, Bells." The maid also added that she has been very excited since last night because she is about to meet her old friend again. It seems she is very happy to meet the young lady. Before the feelings that Diana had for her, Bells was still very confused. She thought to herself, in the past, I had made her suffer in the orphanage, but now she is welcoming me like this. Silly me, why did I hate her, such a good person? Then Bells slowly blurted out, "I miss you too." After that, Diana turned to ask Lily, "Did you bring the pie?" Bells was bewildered and did not understand why there was pie. Diana held the box of cakes in her hand and happily introduced, "I asked Lily to buy it early in the morning to bring to you and me to eat. This is the most famous pecan pie in the area." Diana's maid also pretended to be imposing and said, "Our young lady thought that Miss Bells had never tried this dish, so she asked me to prepare it." Bells' maid was not someone easy to bully, and immediately quipped back, "Oh my, that is so good." The chefs at the Duke's mansion are very proud of their desserts, so they almost do not allow trying desserts from outside. Taking this opportunity to try the dishes outside like this is also a good experience for the young lady. Just in time, a batch of tea received from the royal family. I will prepare and bring it out immediately. Then the two maids looked at each other with fiery eyes. No one was willing to give in. Scene changes. Bells received the huge gift and felt a little embarrassed. She thought to herself, so, the words of that person make her worried. Diana must have said that sentence because she remembered me when I was in the orphanage. Then Bells asked her maid Tara to help her put the gift away. Tara also told them, "Then you two can chat comfortably." In the reception room now there were only Bells and Diana. The two of them just stared at each other. No one was willing to open their mouth first. On the outside, Bells showed that she was fine, but in fact she was very confused. Too embarrassed. "I have never caused trouble with Diana. Because I have never talked to Diana, I do not know where to start." Then Bells suddenly remembered, "That is right, first I have to apologize. To improve the relationship, this is the first step." After that, Bells bravely blurted out, "Hey Diana, there is something I must say to you. I am sorry for bothering you all this time. From now on, I want us to be able to live together in harmony." Diana listened very attentively and replied, "I was very worried about you, Bells." Hearing that, Bells was a little surprised. Looking closely at Diana's clear face, Bells thought, since then, it seems that she has been cutting off my words or actions in a strange way. It must just be a feeling. Suddenly Diana asked Bells, worried about what? Bells awkwardly replied, "The reason you stayed here." Diana continued, "Because I could not treat the second young master. I heard you were forced to stay here." Hearing that, Bells was stunned. Then asked more clearly, "What do you mean?" Diana explained, so I listened to the Margrave to make me feel guilty, deliberately brought you another saintess candidate, here lying that you have treated. But Bells felt, no, this is not my feeling. Diana said with a mysterious face. Even if you do not heal. Bells now also realized. She tried to calm down, think carefully. Diana did this on purpose to make me uncomfortable. But Diana continued to ask more, right? Why did it turn out like this? Bells calmly asked back, why do you think I can't treat? Although not as excellent as you, I also have the ability to treat. So you are a candidate for the saintess. Hearing that, Diana innocently said then. Why did you disappear on the goddess's birthday? It must also be because you are not confident in your abilities, so that is why, right? Bells was very sad, thinking, because I do not want to be compared with you as always, but I probably can't say these words in front of the person involved. After that, she tried to look happy, pretended to laugh loudly, blurted out, places like that are really boring and there is nothing interesting. You know, I used to be a troublemaker. The fact that I have treated Duke Joshua is true. At this point, Diana was very surprised, and exclaimed in panic, what really treated? Bells explained further, actually, I did not cure the disease immediately. Because I have to continue to monitor and treat, that is why I have to stay here. Diana waved her hand and said, it is okay, Bells, you can tell me the truth. Bells still did not understand. What do you mean? Then Diana ran over and threatened Bells in a rush. The Duke has discovered you, the person imprisoned by the Grand Priest. Because he found that scene so pitiful, he brought you back here. Hearing the words Diana told, Bells could not help but be shocked, sprayed with glue. She recalled the old days. The bastard Dunkeski was a person who paid great attention to his reputation, the children who had been to the confession room. He had also strictly ordered that the things that happened there should not be spread. Therefore, not only the other children in the orphanage, but especially Diana, a model student, must not have known anything about the true identity of the Grand Priest. Then Bells inquired further, Diana, how did you know I had been imprisoned? Diana appeared innocent and pure and replied, the knight who visited the Margrave's mansion from the last time in the palace, asked about everything before leaving. Hearing that the Grand Priest is such a person, I was really surprised. I heard that the confession room has also been closed. Hearing this, Bells felt that something was wrong. She thought, wait a minute, Liam Calios once said, I heard that the Investigation Bureau will conduct an official investigation into the existence of the confession room. They have decided to keep it a secret because of the image of the temple. I should have exposed his face to the whole country first. I'm sorry, child. At that time, Bells shyly shook her head and said, it is okay. Just the fact that the investigation has been started is enough to make me happy. Diana happily continued, anyway, I have received support from the Duke, you are really lucky. Bells was sure that the confession room was clearly kept a secret, but she always wondered, how did Diana know? Scene change, the two of them continued chatting. Seeing Bells so sad, Diana showed concern and asked if his complexion was not very good, and if he wanted to try a little pie. That eating sweets would make him feel better. Bells just sat there blankly, unable to understand. Diana today was like a stranger, making him feel so strange. Then Bells dejectedly replied to Diana, oh no, I will eat it slowly. Diana did not pay much attention, saying okay. In fact, Bells was very conflicted inside, wondering if it was because he was a returnee from a previous life that he felt this way. Diana inherently had such a personality, it is just that he was too young back then to understand clearly. He also suddenly discovered the yellow flames, an indication of immune disorders such as allergies. Did Diana have an allergy? It does not seem serious enough to be fatal because she only looks a little weak. It is probably okay to eat a little, but it is still better to be careful, maybe just sneakily skip it. What is in this? Bells walked over to take a piece of cake and realized, something seems strange. All the desserts here are things Diana liked to eat in her previous life. Seeing her finally pick up a cake to eat, Diana happily said, Bells, I am so lucky to meet you today. Actually, I do not usually have the chance to eat so many delicious desserts. The Marquis often says that desserts are not good for health, so I rarely get to eat them, so overprotective. Diana sighed sadly while holding the pie box in her hand. Bells deduced that, oh, so the foods here are all the things Diana ate in her previous life without any problems. What on earth is it? Just then Diana tasted the cake and said, it stings my tongue a little, but it is really delicious. Bells was stunned. Stings, that is it, he shouted. Wait a moment, Diana. But Diana continued to bite into the next piece of cake. A few flames flickered around her. Diana did not seem to realize what was happening. Suddenly a fierce yellow flame burst out in front of Diana. At this moment she panicked and froze. Bells screamed in fear, Diana, immediately spit out what is in your mouth. Diana listened and immediately did as he said, trying to vomit out all the cake she had eaten. Bells could not understand how could her strength be so great. Diana could not even control her limbs and attacked people. Bells had a very hard time calming her down. Diana calmed down. Then Bells even pressed her down and checked if she was choking. Before she suffocates, I have to take the rest out of her mouth. Hearing a crashing sound in the room, Diana's maid immediately ran in, panicking and asking, "What is wrong, my lady?" Bells sighed in relief and said, "Oh, you are here, Diana." But before he could finish speaking, the maid rushed over, pushed Bells away and shouted, "What are you doing to our lady?" Then she shook Diana repeatedly. "Lady, are you okay?" Bells struggled to get up after being pushed hard. Just then someone came in and called her name, Bells, and it was Edwin and Tara too. Diana's maid was terrified, her face pale, shouting, "I feel like the lady's body is strange, she can't breathe. What on earth did you give our lady to eat?" This scene reminded Bells of the past. Could it be poisoning like that day? Having been deceived by someone who used to be the crown prince's subordinate. That day he was framed as the one who put poison in Diana's teacup. Bells trembled at this moment, saying, "I really did not do it." Seeing Bells so scared, Edwin stepped forward to soothe her. "Bells, take a breath." All the emotions in Belle's heart surged strongly. She sobbed, "Edwin, I really did not." Edwin always stood by her side. He told her, "I know it was not you." But Diana's maid, not knowing the beginning and end of the story, shouted loudly, "Not what? If it was not because of the poison in the dessert, why would Diana be like this? Hurry up and call the doctor." Bells was so scared that she could only hug Edwin tightly, not daring to look at the scene before her eyes. Edwin turned to glare at the maid and warned, "Be careful with your words. Don't say such words to the Calios ducal family. Do you dare to take responsibility for what you just said?" Then he asked Tara, "Have all the foods brought up during the afternoon tea been checked?" Tara replied, "Yes, everything has been done according to the rules. There is definitely no poison. I can guarantee that." Looking at Edwin's appearance, Bells was very grateful and thankful to him, in the previous life as well, and now he always protects her. She made up her mind, "I can't just keep receiving Edwin's help like this." Bells strongly spoke the truth, "It is because of an allergy." Then she used magic to point towards Diana. The maid's jaw dropped in incomprehension. What are you doing?" Bells began to heal, with a serious expression, saying, "If it continues like this, Diana will suffocate and die." Diana's maid really had a wicked heart. She even thought, "Is not she hoping for that to happen?" Bells put all her strength into healing Diana. By the time the treatment was finished, Bells was almost exhausted, sweating profusely. Her eyes tired as if they were about to collapse, but in fact she understood that allergies are due to constitution. So they can't be completely cured. This is the best way. Then she told everyone the first aid is done. To be on the safe side, it is better to prescribe allergy medication. At this moment, Diana also woke up, panting and calling out, "Sister Lily." The maid was startled when she saw her lady wake up. "Oh my God, is the young lady all right now?" Edwin was very concerned about Bells. "Are you okay?" Bells smiled and replied, "I am fine, just need to rest a little." Diana kept complaining to Lily, "Sister, I am so itchy." Lily looked at her young lady and felt very sorry. "Oh my this." Then she apologized to Bells and had a request for Bells. "Please help Lady Diana remove the rash. The young lady is feeling too itchy." Bells replied, "I understand," but in fact she sighed, tiredly thinking, "Okay, I can do that quickly." But Edwin stopped her and told everyone she just used too much mental strength, do not ask for too much. Bells was extremely touched by Edwin's subtle actions. He even stood up to solve everything for her. With a sharp look in his eyes, he said, "The Duke's manager will be here in a little while. Wait a bit." The maid Lily was extremely worried about her fate in the future when she heard this. Just a moment later, Marquis Berlote rushed over. Seeing the girl, he exclaimed in panic, "Diana." "Oh my God, I heard you were in danger because of difficulty breathing." Diana told her father, "I am better now." Bells also remembered those years, Marquis Berlote. Ever since she witnessed herself being by the prince's side in her previous life. This life is the first meeting. In the evidence I saw, it was recorded that the Marquis and the second prince were preparing to betray. But when I saw everything changed to the crown prince and the ducal family. Is the Marquis involved in that conspiracy? If the Marquis has such ambition, the reason for bringing Diana is definitely because of her divine power, and that is right. Berlote only asked about Diana's health as a formality, but in fact he kept questioning Diana in a small voice. "How is the divine power?" she timidly replied. "There is no problem." Bells also remembered, in fact in her previous life they also tried their best to make Diana a saintess. The child has fallen already, so what does it matter if she has healing power now? Suddenly at this moment Mr. Gordon and Duke Calios arrived. The Duke's face was full of anger, saying, "It is really unsightly. Marquis Berlote began to explain. No, what I meant was I was just worried about the child, so I said that. Gordon stepped forward and gently asked Diana, are you okay? Then he glanced at Bells and said, you are the one who treated her, right? You did a good job. He also praised her. You gave very good first aid with this condition. There is no need to worry too much. Gordon shouted straight at Marquis Berlote's face. Thanks to Bells, the condition has improved a lot. The rest is just a rash. With medicine it will definitely subside quickly. The Marquis replied, is that so? Well, that is good. Berlote turned to glance at Bells and said ambiguously, with a saintess candidate here, is there really a need to prescribe medicine? After all, this child is the cause of such a situation. Should not the child be responsible? Duke Liam angrily asked back, is it Bells' fault? The Marquis said in a very obvious way, actually this happened because I came to meet the child. Duke Liam always has a clear perspective, he said. The child was willing to welcome you even though this meeting was not scheduled, so what fault does the girl have? I understand that you are very confused because something happened to the child I am sponsoring. I will let it go this time, but here I advise you to change the maid in charge of the child. A maid who does not know her master is allergic but lets her eat whatever she wants. I am really worried about the child's health. Lily was startled and scared when she heard the Duke's clear instructions. Marquis Berlote said irritably, are you blaming our maid? Could it be blaming the food prepared by the ducal family? This child also does not know that there is plum in it. Liam was very surprised. Plum? Mr. Gordon looked confused and said, that is strange. There is no way there is any food containing plum in this mansion. Berlote was startled. What do you mean? Duke Liam said, my second son is also allergic to plum. So there is no food containing plum provided in the ducal mansion. If you still doubt it, I can show you the books. At this moment the Marquis understood, unable to comprehend. So where did the child eat plum? Bells said, in the pecan pie. In the pecan pie that Diana bought because she wanted to eat with me, but the cake tasted like plum. Berlote questioned the maid Lily. Are you talking about that cake sold in the city center? That cake has plum jam, I warned you already. At this moment Diana sobbed. It is all my fault. Bells has liked eating desserts since she was in the orphanage. He was sad because there were so few desserts, so I often shared my portion with him. Otherwise she would steal food from other children. But I did not expect there to be a dessert containing plum in it. Bells was stunned when she heard this, unable to believe that Diana would lie so blatantly. Marquis Berlote proudly said, look at this, because that child has been causing trouble since she was in the orphanage. Is not it because Diana uselessly bought desserts that this happened? Then after eating too much, the young lady got tired and gave the rest to Diana to eat. Right, the maid Lily also took the opportunity to push the blame, changing black to white. Remembering that the child put her hand in our young lady's mouth. Surely she forced the young lady to eat the cake. Bells could not understand. What nonsense is this? She bravely shouted, clearing her name. I helped Diana spit out the cake. In my opinion, that was not an act of forcing to eat. Tara also said, that is right. On the contrary, the young lady was injured when helping Lady Diana. Berlote still made a fuss. The Duke did not want to hear any more of what he said. So he stopped him. That is enough. I have overlooked all the rudeness because that child is Belle's friend. But it has crossed the line. I won't ask why you lied, actually. That age often lies when they feel embarrassed. However, I hope this child will not come to the ducal mansion anymore. Hearing this, the Marquis was startled and worried, continuously begging the Duke. Liam said with a cold look, I think you understood what I said, then let us adults discuss this matter ourselves. Marquis, please go home today. The Marquis tried to swallow this anger, saying, I understand. He instructed the maid Lily, remember to take care of Diana and take her out. Now I will go. Lily clearly replied, I understand. Diana still acted like a god, pretending to be friendly, saying, before leaving, can I say goodbye to Bells before leaving? I also want to heal the wound on his cheek. Bells was confused. She looked at the Duke and thought to herself, I really want to go inside and rest right now, but because of the relationship between Diana and the ducal family in the future, this time I should end everything well. After that, Diana unleashed magic to heal Bells, and said, I am sorry. Although unpleasant things happened today, I really just wanted to have a good time with you. Bells tried to endure, thinking, what is it? Is it because this is the first time I am directly receiving treatment? It feels like there are insects crawling on my cheek. I can't stand it anymore, Bells said. Diana, that is enough. Diana retorted, it seems like you have become smarter. Bells was very curious. Why is there such a dark blue energy from Diana's divine power? Then Diana put her head close to Bells and gently said ambiguously in a very insidious way. Probably because you came to the ducal family instead of me. Are you still craving my things? Bells with fearful eyes asked Diana, what does that mean? Berlote urged Diana, if you are done, let us go. Diana sadly replied, yes, Marquis. Then she turned to leave. Bells had something to say, so she kept calling Diana. But she still obediently went to lean beside the Marquis. Berlote angrily said, "Already so cunning at such a young age." Diana also secretly resolved, "I will show who will truly become the saintess. Today I must repay this humiliation." Seeing Diana's expression not looking good, the Marquis asked, "What is wrong, Diana? Why did you stop? Let us go." Diana replied, "Wait a moment, Marquis." She turned back towards Bells. Then bowed 90 degrees and said, "I am sorry for saying such bad things to you. Actually, I am very sad that I can't heal the second young master. The Marquis had to lie to comfort me because he was also very difficult. But when I directly witnessed your ability, maybe I felt a little jealous, even though I know I should not be like this. I'm sorry for hurting you, Bells. Can you forgive me?" Bells also felt a little touched. "That is right, I have returned, but right now Diana is just a child with healing abilities. Being compared for the first time must be a strange and unacceptable situation." Then Bells took Diana's hand and said, "Of course I will forgive you. Let us try to become good friends and saintess candidates together. I will also try to become a child worthy of a saintess candidate." After speaking, Bells and Diana parted ways, each going home. Diana said goodbye and see you again at the goddess birthday festival. After that, she and the Marquis got into the carriage and left. Scene change. Immediately after Diana left, at the Marquis family, everything that happened at the Duke's family was acknowledged and apologized for. Perhaps because it has been so long since I used divine power, or maybe because I was stressed during the first meeting with Diana after returning, even though she healed the wound on my cheek. I still had to lie in bed for 2 days. Scene change. Several days later, Bells had recovered from her illness. She began to rethink everything and lament. Diana had resolved everything, but I still feel like something is strange. What is that purple energy that I saw from Diana? It looks similar to the color I saw from the High Priest. Surely there can't be such a malicious aura from Diana. That is right, Diana is the future saintess and also the female lead in the story. She also told me, "Bells, I really want to become a good saintess. So I will do everything I can so that no one has to suffer in this world anymore. Even me, just because I experienced a few things differently from my previous life. I suspected such a child. On the contrary, the person I should care about is the Marquis family. I did not know in the past. But the Marquis seems to have become obsessed with Diana's divine power, and also incited competitiveness. The Marquis has always wanted to overthrow the ducal family. I do not know how to act in the future in accordance with my new steps. If I see suspicious actions, I must immediately report to the Duke. I must pay close attention." She looked at the desk calendar and saw, the next meeting will probably be the Goddess Birthday Festival. Right, time flies so fast. The Goddess Birthday Festival is coming soon. On that day, Diana's healing power will bloom. That will be the starting point where she officially shows her talent as a saintess. Also right at this festival, when the entire royal family will also participate, making things even more complicated. That is the worst day, when I can't run away like the previous times and am compared all day. Now, no matter what others think, I am probably lucky that I do not care too much about other people's thoughts anymore. In this life, even the position of saintess. I do not covet the seat next to Edwin at all. Bells secretly resolved. At first I was satisfied with the position of a child sponsored by the ducal family. I will repay the Duke. Suddenly Mr. Gordon came and asked, "Bells, are you here?" Bells replied, "Yes, I am." He said, "I have been looking for a long time." Bells was very curious. "What is the matter?" he said. "Why would I be looking for you?" Then Gordon chuckled, excitedly announcing, "Finally it is a success. I have succeeded in growing fairy grass." Hearing this, Bells was overjoyed, her eyes sparkling with joy. "Finally my source of money is." But just a few seconds later she said sadly, "But is there only this much? Probably only half the amount I collected." Mr. Gordon jumped up and said, "Only this much? Just a series of legendary grasses with no records. Just succeeding without killing anyone is already a miracle. Do you know how difficult and great this is? Such a historical event. Wait a bit, the seed cracked yesterday, probably will sprout in a couple of days." Bells helplessly said, "Anyway, it will take 3 months to grow." Mr. Gordon suddenly realized something unusual. He exclaimed, 3 months? How do you know that?" Bells was startled, realizing she had slipped up. She had to put out the fire by taking a different reason. "I read this at the temple library." Gordon was quite interested. "Is that so?" "Indeed, I have heard that there are plenty of books there containing all kinds of stories starting from ancient forbidden books. I also want to go there to see sometime." Then he asked Bells, "So what are you going to do with that herb now? Didn't you say you would inform me if you succeeded in growing it?" Bells quietly replied, "Oh, that." She hesitated, not knowing how to answer. She thought to herself, "At first I planned to make scented candles and sell them, but the amount of trees is too small. So it is impossible to do that. I can only make 2 or 3. To properly promote it I need a lot of products. Then Bells asked Mr. Gordon in a small voice, with the current amount, how much essence can be extracted? He smacked his lips thinking and replied, well, if it is a small bottle, I think I can fill about 2 bottles. Hearing this, Bells suddenly had an idea. Then let us change the product. Then she whispered into Mr. Gordon's ear, what I am planning to do is. He also found it a bit interesting, saying, if it is that, it will definitely attract everyone's attention. However, to promote it we need a suitable location. Are you thinking about the goddess birthday festival? Bells smiled and said, that is right. Mr. Gordon thought carefully and said, wait a bit, if it is the festival held at that temple, Diana, that child will also participate, so Marquis Berlot will also come. Right, Bells vaguely thought, probably so, but why ask about that? Gordon continued to ask, on that day, the child who shows the most outstanding ability will be chosen as the saintess. Right, Bells did not quite understand why he was asking this. She gently replied, yes, that is right. Hearing this, Mr. Gordon chuckled as if he had an idea, and said, very good, I will make you a saintess. Then he exploded and shouted loudly, last time I came, I really hated seeing that kid ignoring you so obviously. This time you become a saintess and crush that kid's arrogance. Bells smiled vaguely, replying, I do not intend to become a saintess. But he did not give up, still urging Bells, so what if you do not? If you do it, you must be the best because you chose me as a business partner, so you must also become the most outstanding person. Believe in this, Gordon. Bells saw, although it seems a bit strange, so he succeeded in lighting Gordon's fire of passion. Scene change during this goddess birthday celebration, after Gordon announced that he would proclaim me as a saintess. Our research on the application of herbs has been further promoted. In this research, what I realized the moment before I died was especially helpful. My memories of my previous life have helped a lot. Before being possessed, my main job was the director of a cosmetic startup company. The place I was possessed into was the world in the novel I read many times in my previous life in modern times. I did not give up and devoted all my heart, working day and night. Finally, I succeeded in developing the product. The next day, Tara happily told Bells that, lately people keep praising that I have beautiful skin and ask what the secret is. Bells said, luckily, when the product is released, everyone will spread the word for us, right? She calculated very carefully. Now there is only one step left, that is the step to start selling the product. The next day, Bells asked the butler for permission for something, but he flatly refused. He said, how can you go out without a knight guarding you? Rather the Duke comes back, then we will go, but Bells still tried to beg him, I am only going for a moment. I do not want to bother the Duke. As long as you lend me the carriage, I will quickly go and come back right away. But the butler was still very hesitant. I am still worried that. Bells was very anxious, just wanting to shout, I just want to let the Duke know when I have results. I deliberately came to find you, butler. Then she took out the teddy bear, her eyes sparkling to flatter the butler. And it is not like I do not have a knight guarding me. Also I have a backup plan, the butler was still very strict, saying. I also heard the Duke talk about that teddy bear. But are not knights still better? Bells then reasoned, if you see the scene of the knights protecting with your own eyes, you will probably change your mind right away. In fact, she was thinking, it only looks like a bear on the outside, so it might not be trustworthy. Then the backup plan. Protection mode. The bear activated this special mode and knew how to speak. Hello, I am Bells' guardian knight. The butler had to give in, but he still decided, indeed, I will arrange for a knight to protect you. Suddenly Bells, the maid and the butler were startled when they saw. The teddy bear rushed away from Bells' arms. It rang the golden bell and recited the spell. I will eliminate all those who dare to disturb this matter. Seeing this, Bells asked the butler in a small voice, what do you think, is it a trustworthy guardian knight? The butler was shocked, stammering, yes it is. Scene change at the capital's merchant association. Even in this place, just like in Korea, to sell products you need to complete the registration of gift cards and copyright registration because the administrative agency in charge of this work is located on the main street of the system. I heard that place is always crowded with merchants. As soon as she entered, Bells blankly asked Tara, we did not come to the wrong place, did we? Tara replied, yes, this is indeed the capital's merchant association. Bells was still very curious. Then why are there so many children? Tara said, lady, let me get a number. Bells was still secretly speculating, is there some event going on? She also spotted a child covered from head to toe. She wondered, does not that kid have an adult with him? He looks to be about Edwin's age. Then the boy looked up. Bells panicked. Did they make eye contact? Just then, the staff called, number 64, please come to the counter. Tara then called Bells, lady, it is our turn, let us go. Bells replied, okay, but she still vaguely thought about that boy. He is probably waiting for his parents or something. Move to the desk, there are 2 rolls of files placed on the table. The staff happily, warmly greeted. Hello lady, what can I help you with? The staff addressed her so formally because she saw that Bells was probably a noble because she had a personal maid. After that, Bells replied, I came to register a trademark and register a copyright. The staff took the file and checked it and announced, yes, the registration will be completed today. You just need to fill in the necessary information here because you are still young. Please fill in the name of the guardian. Mentioning the name of the guardian, Bells began to hesitate when thinking of Duke Liam. No, if I write the Duke's name here, it will be discovered in just one day. My plan will fall into the Duke's ears. Then for now I will write Old Gordon and submit it, because he is also my business partner. After completing all the information, the staff said, the reception will take some time. While waiting, why do not you try to participate in this? This is a competition organized by the royal family. And just in time, you have fully met the conditions for participation. Bells was very surprised. Competition. The staff continued to promote fiercely, yes, it is the startup competition for children, for the purpose of discovering talent. This competition is for children from 5 to 14 years old. The competition will award prizes to children who develop unique products or have outstanding business capabilities. Before these temptations, Bells had to consider carefully. Related to the royal family is not very attractive. I do not like it very much, but when she found out that the prize of the competition was a huge amount of money, up to 500 gold, Bells immediately changed her attitude, shouting, really, if it is 500 gold, it is equivalent to 5 million won. Right. Bells happily announced, I will participate. Tara then said, yes, then I will help you complete the registration procedure right away. Bells was still very hesitant, I need business capital. Then that is great. I did not expect the royal family to be helpful to my life one day. Immediately after that, she realized it felt like there were eyes watching from somewhere. It was that kid from before. He was alone, right? Looking closely, although he does not look like Edwin, he is actually a fairly handsome face. Is he also waiting to participate in the competition? He is staring like that. Surely because he sees me as an opponent. Although he is a child, I can't let him hinder my business capital. Then Bells said ambiguously, very loudly, the prize is mine. That kid did not have many prejudices. Bells realized his hair is red. Just then Bells' file business license was also finished. The staff said, young lady, all registrations have been completed. I wish you success. Bells politely replied, oh yes, thank you. She glanced over at the red-haired boy again, and was surprised when she did not see him anymore. He just disappeared. Tara saw the lady's face being thoughtful about something, and asked, lady, what is wrong? Bells replied, nothing, let us go home. In area, only those with royal blood have the right to own property. Even the more royal blood they inherit, the stronger. They have emerald green eyes with clear red tones. So, the second prince felt confident about his almost brown hair and sea blue eyes. And the child with such red hair, being the only one in the empire, is a male lead candidate, is also the crown prince of the empire, only Caesar Esther. Bells wondered if the child I saw was really the crown prince. Then why is he here? It seems that in my previous life I never heard the crown prince participate in any talent competition. Surely there is content in the original. She tried to remember the messages in the phone-in her previous life. So, the crown prince before the goddess' birthday secretly left the palace and was attacked by assassins sent by the queen after being seriously injured. The crown prince managed to return to the palace and investigate the case. However, when the situation did not improve, the crown prince's assistant secretly contacted the Berlote family. At this moment Bells was startled. Could it be? At this moment she flew to another place, leaving Tara in surprise. Bells was running and hurriedly said, sorry, I forgot something inside, I will go get it and come back right away. While running, she carefully considered that even if they were attacked, Diana would definitely help, according to the original story. Even if he woke up, all the families that had supported him would have fallen. In the previous life, the crown prince had been imprisoned for being falsely accused of treason. He was attacked by a stranger right in his palace and fell into a coma. If I had been a little smarter, this tragedy might not have happened. I want to apologize and make amends at least once to the person who had to suffer because of my ignorance. If the event in the original story happens today, I just need to report it to the security bureau and come back. Suddenly, Bells stopped abruptly while walking, her face turning pale. She looked into the alley and saw something terrifying. It was the crown prince's scarf and brooch. She was completely stunned at this moment. Bells imagined the horrific massacre. Someone would be holding a long sword and slowly walking towards Caesar Esther, saying, a noble royal, not a rat. It is hard to find you. The crown prince Caesar Esther was afraid, not knowing how to save himself. His life was on the verge of death. In fact, the entrepreneurship contest for children was organized with the purpose of discovering innate talents, regardless of status, and it was known as such. In reality, this contest was just an excuse for me to find a reliable assistant for myself. Everyone related to the royal family was under the control of the queen. And there was always a risk that they could betray me at any time. I needed someone from outside the palace, not influenced by her. Someone who could help me create my own fund with an extraordinary mind. To find a peer who could grow up with me and share my values, I organized this contest and secretly went out myself. How did the information get leaked? Caesar was determined to stand up and fight. He grabbed his small sword and pointed it at the bad guys, but they still sneered and said, "What are you going to do with that toy sword, Your Highness?" Faced with their threats, Caesar thought, I have to get out of here first and then figure it out. He asked them fearlessly, "Could it be that you have not dared to come forward because you are afraid of this toy sword?" The leader flinched. He arrogantly said, "What, you are about to die and you still dare to say such arrogant words?" Caesar thought carefully. We do not have a chance if we continue to stall for time. He had to quickly get to the main street. He charged forward with his sword and slashed at the person in front of him. But it was not that easy. It was difficult for him to escape. They shouted to each other, "Immediately capture the Crown Prince. You fools, are not you sober enough?" Crown Prince Caesar refused to give up and continued to fight. The battle was extremely difficult. Caesar gritted his teeth and persevered. At this moment, another person grabbed a long sword and lunged at the Crown Prince, shouting, "You bastard, die." Indeed, Caesar's strength was not enough to fight them. He closed his eyes in fear and thought, "Damn it, is this the end?" Suddenly at this moment, a lovely voice rang out, "Dory, assassination mode." Belle's teddy bear flew out and attacked the bad guys in Caesar's astonishment. After dealing with a bad guy just now, the teddy bear approached Caesar and said, "Hello, my name is Dory. I am Belle's assassin." Dory completely defeated one person as an example for the others. It even provoked them. This feels great. The remaining people were terrified and sweating profusely. Dory continued to threaten and tease them, "Does anyone want to play with me? Let us play together." But they were too scared and ran away. Crown Prince Caesar calmed down but still did not understand what had happened. Bells appeared at this time, sighing and saying, "Oh my, assassination mode is really scary." Caesar saw her and vaguely recognized her. "That child is." It was the child from the association just now, right? Bells approached Caesar, reached out her hand and asked, "Are you okay?" But seeing him silent and unmoving, Bells felt awkward. Oops, is he being cautious? This kid must be scared by the assassin. She thought to herself, that is right, I was also scared when I saw the assassin and accidentally activated assassination mode. I meant to say guard mode. Seeing Caesar trying to stand up, Bells did not forget to remind him, "It is safe now, do not worry." But Caesar coldly said, "Don't worry about me." This surprised Bells, and she wanted to exclaim, "Oh my, look at that kid's personality." She tried to swallow this anger and thought, no, it is understandable that this kid is being sensitive after almost losing his life. If he can stand up on his own, then he is probably okay. I have done everything I can, including stopping the assassin. Bells was about to release a little magic when she suddenly remembered, treating His Highness is not my job. It seems that His Highness has already called his subordinates. The less involved I am with the royal family, the better. I have to leave here immediately. Then Bells called, "Dory." The teddy bear ran towards her, happily announcing, "I am Dory, and I have defeated all the assassins." Bells immediately praised, "Well done, the bad guys seem to have been cleaned up. Let us go home now." Before leaving, Bells did not forget to tell Caesar Esther, "Well then I will go first." At this moment, he staggered again and fainted. Bells was shocked, not knowing what to do. She asked, "Hey, are you okay?" and was horrified when she saw blood. She approached Caesar Esther, touched the wound and exclaimed, "This wound is too deep. Even though I tried to stop it, the wound is still this serious." How severe was his injury in the original story? Bells was silent. Thoughts flashed through her mind, because he is a male lead candidate. I thought this kid would not die. But after experiencing so many things, I am probably not so sure about this anymore. More importantly, is it okay to leave an unconscious child in this place? She wondered when the Crown Prince's subordinates would arrive. It seemed that the bad guys were acting. Moving the Crown Prince is too difficult for me. Is there a way to get the Crown Prince to a safe place? She remembered when Edwin Calios gave her a Dory teddy bear and asked, "Have you tried the other modes yet?" She was stunned, curious. Other modes, Edwin explained to her, besides the doll mode, there are also modes like guard mode or assassination mode. And many more. Edwin Calios confidently and excitedly said, "Among them, my favorite mode is giant mode." At this moment, Belle's eyes lit up, overjoyed. She exclaimed, "That is it, Dory giant mode." The teddy bear happily imitated, "Dory giant mode." Dory activated the mode, turning into a giant teddy bear, towering up. Bells was happy, showing her interest, but then she reassured herself, I have to be serious. This is not the time to be excited. The Dory bear hugged the two of them tightly. Bells instructed it, because this is an important person, be careful and take him to the back of the Merchant Association building safely. Dory giggled and asked, important person, got it. Bells thought to herself, if I move him to a place with a lot of people, he will be quickly discovered and can be treated in time. However, before that I have to give him first aid. I will leave the treatment to Diana later. Scene change, Bells returned to Tara. She was overjoyed and relieved to see the young lady return. Bells held the teddy bear in her hand, happily saying, I am back. The maid Tara anxiously asked, where did you go, young lady? Because you were not in the association, we almost sent someone to the Duke's mansion. Bells felt very apologetic, stammering, I am sorry about that. A child in there dropped this, so I was going to help him find it. In the end, because I could not find the owner, I had to come back. Tara exclaimed in surprise, oh my. And also carefully instructed the young lady, from now on, if something like this happens, remember to take me with you. Bells nodded in response, got it. From now on, I will always go with Tara. I am sorry for making you worry. Then Bells and Tara happily returned to the Duke's mansion together. As for Caesar Esterode, he had been taken to a place for treatment, and everyone was worried about him. Will the Crown Prince be okay? Scene changed to Bells. When I returned to the Duke's residence, when the Duke, Edwin and Mr. Gordon learned about me going out, they scolded me for a long time. After promising not to do it again, I was finally able to feel free. A few days after that big event, the festival celebrating the goddess's birthday began brilliantly. Finally, today is the second day of the festival, marking the beginning of earning a lot of money. The morning of the service at the temple had arrived. Bells was attentively reading the newspaper and sighed in relief, realizing that there were no articles about the Crown Prince's issue. I was worried if my saving the Crown Prince would affect the plot of this world. Perhaps that was just an unnecessary worry. At this moment Tara came to ask, young lady, are you really going to wear that dress? She took out several very beautiful pink princess dresses, sparkling, and said with a pout, young lady, it is a pity, are you going to pass up such beautiful dresses? Bells still happily replied, with the anti-lost bracelet that the Duke gave me, I think that is enough. Tara sighed and said, I know it is a precious item, but still. Bells was very happy to have the bracelet, the anti-lost bracelet that the Duke gave me, saying that after the last time I went out, I must always wear it. I understand the Duke's worried heart, but I really think it is a bit much. This bracelet is made of ruby and platinum. Then Bells told the maids that today is the day I meet my friends at the orphanage again. There no one wears such clothes. It would be strange if I were the only one wearing them. After hearing this, the maids all admired the young lady's understanding and thoughtfulness. She had planned everything in advance. Actually, if I appeared in an expensive dress, I would definitely be criticized by others. That is why I have to wear this and go. In my previous life I was sponsored by the Marquis family and wore beautiful dresses, so I was really jealous of Diana. After being sponsored by the Duke family, I attended the festival in an extremely dazzling outfit after realizing the sponsorship from the Duke family. However, with the outfit being too much and not suitable for the situation, of course people's eyes were not very friendly. At that time I did not understand the reason, so I felt very sad. Someone even said harshly, the healing power is getting weaker every year, and she is still dressing up like royalty. It is really funny. Speaking of which, there was only one child who explained the reason to me at that time. Although I do not remember the face clearly, I am sure I still remember that rude way of speaking. Thanks to that, I corrected my actions and from then on only wore simple clothes. Even so, I was still labeled as imitating Diana. But how did he know that my healing power was gradually decreasing every year? Back then, he also looked like an orphan, with a scruffy appearance and a rude attitude. In my previous life, my healing ability became worse and worse over time. In the end, even healing small wounds became difficult. At that time I could not find the cause. It was not until I was imprisoned in the penitence room that I realized it was because I had been robbed of my divine power, which was the means to heal. Because in my previous life, I only focused on comparing myself with Diana. Even I did not suspect that the healing ability was gradually decreasing. Did he know that and not say it? Or was it just because he hated me? Suddenly, someone came to knock on Belle's door. The butler respectfully said, young lady, the Duke has said that before going to the temple, he will have breakfast with the young dukes. Belle's was very surprised, the Duke. She recalled that everyone in the Duke family was very busy, so since coming here I have been eating alone. Duke Liam has too much work. Edwin is busy shouldering the responsibilities of the heir, and Joshua Calios is undergoing rehabilitation. If we can gather, we usually meet in the evening when there is more free time. Even then it is only a maximum of 2 people. Bells went to the dining room and was surprised, wondering what is the matter that everyone is having breakfast together today. Then she did not forget to say, "Sorry for being late, good morning everyone." Joshua's eyes lit up when he saw Bells coming, and he exclaimed, "Sister." Duke Liam also happily said, "Good morning, I called suddenly like this, do not mind it." Joshua kept urging Bells, "Come in, sister." Bells sat down at the table. Liam ordered the servant, "Well then, everyone is seated, bring out the food." They ate together very happily with delicious steak. Edwin even delicately cut all the beef for Joshua to eat easily. Joshua giggled and said, "You are great, brother." Bells observed and saw that Edwin was very mature from a young age. In my previous life we occasionally ate together, but I remember that there was not such a warm atmosphere. But now, because Joshua is healthy and here, everything has changed. When I see the Duke family changing like this compared to my previous life, I feel that I am really helpful. Bells was eating deliciously when Duke Liam praised her. "The way you eat is very polite. Is it from studying at the temple orphanage?" Bells nodded. She responded quietly, "Yes." Liam continued, "These things are really helpful." But actually, the Duke does not know that Bells learned from the Duke. At the orphanage and temple, I only used wooden spoons, as well as the fact that each fork and spoon has its own order and purpose. I also learned from the Duke. I also did not know that the used dining utensils would be taken away by the servants. Therefore, on the first day I ate with everyone in my previous life, it was very embarrassing. I ate rice in a messy way and I thought, it is so embarrassing. What if the Duke regrets sponsoring me? The Duke explained in detail instead of summarizing on that day. At that time the Duke instructed, when you do not know, just use them in order from the outside in. The small ones are usually for dessert, the ones with holes on top are usually for fish dishes. Thinking like that will be easier to understand. Thinking back to everything, I only feel grateful to the Duke. Scene change. Duke Liam reminded Joshua, "You should also learn how to eat properly soon. I do not know when you will grow up more." Seeing the Duke looking very serious, Bells still knows that the Duke said that with love. Also because I understand how embarrassing it is to be compared to others. I hope Joshua won't feel that way because of me. Suddenly there was a sound of things falling. Joshua hurriedly said, "I am sorry, I am still weak." Duke Liam did not blame them at all, but gently told them, "That is right, you are both still young, so just learn gradually." Bells was shocked to realize that he had let her off the hook. Then she happily asked, "So what is today?" "It is rare for everyone to eat together like this." Edwin said, "It is an important day," and Joshua excitedly said, "That is right, this is an extremely important day." Bells guessed, "What is it? Is it an anniversary?" Liam smiled and explained, "The person involved does not understand the situation. Everyone gathered here to support you." "Isn't today an important day for you?" Bells was stunned. "Is it for me?" The Duke continued, "The child with the most talent in serving will be made a saint." "Right." Bells was a little nervous. "Ah, did you know about that?" Talent coins are a type of temple currency with a value equivalent to gold coins. Nobles will exchange the empire's currency for talent coins to use in services at the temple. They can be used to buy items made by children in the orphanage or used to develop their abilities. The child who receives the most talent coins will be chosen as a saint. The saint can keep all the talent coins they have received. Of course, the talent coins of the other children will be collected by the temple. Bells also chose her words and spoke her true thoughts. "Thank you everyone for supporting me, but I am not sure I want to become a saint." Duke Liam said again, "You said something different from Gordon. I heard you have been working hard for a month to become a saint." Hearing that, Bells was speechless, trying to hide her shock. "This old man, did not we decide to keep that a secret?" The Duke said that after achieving good results in the work, he wanted to confidently tell the Duke. Trying to remember the fairy seed thing, she hurriedly explained about that. "Actually, when I did it, I used some of the things available in the Duke's mansion. I will definitely calculate the usage fee clearly, so can I continue to use it?" She thought, "Well, since that is the case, let us ask for permission to use the fairy grass." Bells promised the Duke, "I will definitely explain the origin of it after I have made a profit." The Duke just smiled and gently said, "Although I do not know what it is, you said you would clearly calculate the usage fee. It seems that the expected profit rate is quite high." Then he also patted Bells' head and said, "Use it freely. I am looking forward to seeing how much you get." Bells was very grateful and thankful to the Duke. Edwin sat in silence and looked at them, then wondered, why do that when you can keep the healing ability? As a candidate for sainthood, would not it be better to use the healing ability to earn talent? Coins. Hearing that, Bells panicked and stammered, not knowing how to answer. She thought in silence. The purpose of this goddess festival is to promote my products. And although the healing ability is stronger than in my previous life, how can I beat Diana, the female lead and future saint? I do not want to be compared so awkwardly, she shyly told everyone. Actually, I am not very confident about my healing ability. I am sorry for disappointing you. Suddenly the Duke's attitude changed. He frowned and asked, who said something to you? Bells panicked, startled. No, it is just that I am not confident enough. Joshua naively said, sister, your healing power is great. I was also healed by you. Edwin also encouraged her, that is right, whatever you do, just do what you want to do. Because I will always be on your side. The Duke was now happier and said, that is right, do not be stressed, just think of it as going to play. Anyway, the person who will become the saint today is you. The position of saint can be bought with money. I have exchanged enough of Logan's money. Just look forward to it. Faced with his generosity in spending money, Bells was stunned, gaping. The maximum talent that can be exchanged is only 100 for each person. Duke, are you planning to use money that is not yours to bribe the middlemen? Bells also asked naively. Will you come in a moment? The Duke smiled and said, are you asking the obvious? Edwin was the same. Today I have cleared all the schedules. Bells started to feel nervous, unexpectedly. Even Edwin. Even in the original story, the Duke family rarely participated in public events. The Duke lived immersed in work. Edwin had not returned to the Duke's castle until he grew up. The days of returning could be counted on the fingers of one hand. Therefore, on temple activity days, Logan, the criminal supervisor, participated on behalf. Why is that? At this time Joshua sighed, sadly saying, I also want to go. But Gordon said that he still does not have enough waivers, so he can't. Bells was ignorant and confused. This is a situation that I had never thought of. The children participating in the festival had to prepare their booths. I set off to the temple first. Scene changed to the temple. Bells was very confident. I have not been to the temple for a long time since that day. And here everything is still the same. Before I hated this place. Now, on the contrary, I do not see anything. I already heard the groaning when transporting Mr. Gordon's belongings, oh my back. And saying that an old man like me is reasonable to move all these things. Bells responded in a very obvious way. Gordon is my business partner, so I can't do anything else. Actually, she had another idea. It would be easier to move heavy things with Dory, but in fact, bringing the belongings of outsiders is not very good. Mr. Gordon chuckled, pretending to be angry, and said, even so, it is not necessary to be a servant for you. You have good physical strength, and the Duke, do you know how much I had to pay attention to when coming here to be a servant because of the position you wanted? After breakfast, the Duke said he would help, but I resolutely stopped him. Can be used as a servant for the temple festival, which will be attacked. When the butler asked, I heard that a servant is needed. If you can't find one, I will. Fortunately at that time Bells jumped up and insisted, old man Gordon has decided to help. However, Gordon was still wondering, by the way, do not you try to meet your close children or teachers before you go back. I am sure everyone does that, right? Bells smiled awkwardly and replied, actually, I do not have many friends, I am fine. Gordon then said, looking at how you do things at the Duke's residence, it seems that many teachers love you because of your cute personality. Bells looked normal. It is okay because I am quite ordinary, so they probably do not remember. Suddenly someone came and interrupted, ordinary. Bells is a very special child. It turned out to be Loren, the manager of the Shinchin orphanage. She had a pious smile and said, do you want me to tell you a little about Bells? Bells' complexion suddenly changed. She thought to herself, how can the leader pretend not to know? The person they used to look down on like me is now receiving sponsorship from a duke. She must be curious about how I am being treated there. In fact, in the past, when my healing ability first manifested, she treated me more specially than anyone and cared about me. She knew I was young but already had healing abilities. She was the manager of this orphanage at that time. I had never received love from my parents even once since I was born. The care she showed me was absolute, extremely great. So I set a goal from her meaningless words. Bells will definitely become a great saint. I always craved her attention, but that shallow attention disappeared as soon as Diana joined the orphanage. It naturally disappeared. The reason is because we have Diana. She not only heals well but is also well behaved and knows how to behave. Manager, who has always compared me to Diana. When Diana received support from a patron, I was constantly scolded and cursed by her. Why do you always hit and pinch your friends? Are you trying to cause trouble? Try to be like Diana, even just half of her. At that time I still tried to endure even though I knew it was not my fault. She began to look down on me more. Perhaps the feeling of inferiority about Diana was created by her. In fact, after that I gradually went the wrong way and grew up into a really bad child. Scene changed to the present, Mr. Gordon asked, "Oh, is she the teacher at the orphanage? Talk for a bit." Bells tried to avoid. "There is nothing to hear, let us clean up quickly." Gordon was a little confused. Why be so ashamed? Looking at Lauren's malicious face, Bells felt slightly nervous and had to be vigilant. Did she just laugh at our clothes? I know too well what she is thinking. No matter how well I do now, I have no intention of forgiving. Can't avoid the uncomfortable feeling. Suddenly other monks came and smiled happily and said, "Oh, manager. Is that Bells?" Loren then replied, "Yes, that is Bells' sister." Bells thought to herself, "It seems she has been waiting for this to happen at the right time." Loren began to speak badly about Bells with Mr. Gordon. "Oh my, just causing trouble at the orphanage. Looking at that outfit, she probably lives messily there too. Are you a servant of the Duke family? Usually in events like this, they will bring servants to directly be assistants. It seems that even that is too wasteful for you." Gordon panicked when he heard the word servant, not understanding how she could think like that. Loren also said maliciously, "Don't pay too much attention to this child. She will probably return to the orphanage soon." Hearing that, Gordon angrily shouted, "What is it?" The two nuns also hinted to each other that after all it was a child who was sponsored because she treated the young master. How could it be like that? It is just someone adding a little to what Diana had almost finished treating, right? She did not become the attending physician of the Duke's family. Diana must have tried hard, but because Bells took all the credit, if it were me, I would not even talk to her because she is so hateful. Bells stood silently watching Mr. Gordon's face, trying to restrain himself. She sadly thought, because of me, he has to listen to such words. Gordon could not bear it anymore, but calmly said to the nuns, "This child may not be a polite child. However, in terms of healing ability, she is the main doctor of the Duke's family. This Gordon Pelliate guarantees it." He even took out his business card to prove absolute credibility. Bells was very touched by the love and trust he had for her. He was worried that she would be hurt by their words. When Loren held Gordon's business card in her hand, she was shocked and exclaimed, "That old man is the Duke's personal doctor, Pelliate. That person is a famous genius in the medical field." Bells also suddenly remembered, "The old man seems to be even greater than I thought." Gordon proudly continued, "Bells treated the second young master alone. The Duke can't understand how important this child is to me. Thanks to that I was able to keep this assistant position." Bells glanced at Loren with a disdainful look, no longer afraid. She felt that she was no longer hurt by their words. Actually, there was no need to do this, but this is an opportunity that Gordon created for her sake. After that, Bells confidently said loudly, "That is right, the Duke even gave me a lost proof bracelet, because the Duke could not come to be an assistant, but he will visit my booth later. So I do not get lost during that time." Loren was a little scared, sweating profusely, and said hesitantly, "The Duke will come to see the exhibition. I am sorry, Bells. These big but incompetent people almost hurt you. The other nuns would let the supervisor scold you, so can you forgive me this time? Bells is a good child." Bells looked at her with a confused look, because she knew when she heard that the Duke was coming. She immediately changed her attitude. "Is not it too predictable? I do not want to accept the apology, but the event is about to start, so making a fuss is not beneficial." After that, Bells happily said, "Yes, I will forgive everyone." Gordon was surprised and speechless when he heard that, and the nuns were overjoyed. "Thank you. We will go prepare the booth, so we will go first." After the nuns left, Mr. Gordon scolded Bells, "You are so resolute in the Duke's family. But why are you so weak here?" Bells replied, "Because Gordon stood by me, so I forgave them. In fact, she did this with other intentions. Anyway, the headmistress has been suffering from constipation for several days. I do not need to do anything more. Just looking at her health makes me feel like there is a smell." Gordon still wondered, "But it is strange that your harsh actions gave me such a good position." Switching to the center of the square, Bells smiled vaguely and said to Gordon, "Ah, this place is easy to attract everyone's attention, but there is a problem." He was very curious. "What is the matter?" Suddenly Diana appeared. She quickly ran to Bells. Smiling happily, she said, "You have arrived." Bells was not surprised because her booth was right next to Diana's. Diana, with sparkling eyes, looked friendly and said, "I missed you so much, Bells." As soon as Diana arrived, many other children ran out, chatting excitedly with her. In the original story at the temple, they always gave me the best spot. This was to sacrifice me. To make Diana shine. If I was next to me, someone without friends or abilities, Diana would naturally stand out more. However, Bells was very curious. Why is Diana's outfit so gorgeous? It was also surprising that she dressed so differently from her previous life. The outfit Diana is wearing now. "This outfit is almost identical to the one I wore last time. How could that be?" Diana suddenly asked Bells. "Indeed, this dress does not suit me. Does it?" Bells was startled and replied, "Ah, no." Then Diana kept staring at Bells and said, "I also want to dress simply like Bells, but..." Hearing this, Bells felt uneasy like last time. She felt an instability from Diana. Diana also complained that, last time when she saw your outfit at the Duke's mansion, the Marquis bought her all sorts of things, so she could not refuse, she could not disappoint the Marquis. Bells pondered, although because of the Marquis, I can't do anything else. It feels strange that my steps and Diana's in the previous life are completely opposite. Is Diana imitating me? Diana also became polite when she voluntarily greeted Mr. Gordon. She also asked, "What are you doing here, Sir Mr.?" Gordon sighed and said, "I came for Bells, why else would I be here?" Diana chuckled and replied, "So that is it. It seems you are very close to Bells, are not you? The Duke's personal doctor is also helping to organize the festival. Bells must be very lucky." The maid next to her was very surprised to see her mistress mention the personal doctor. She also glared at Mr. Gordon and asked mockingly, "It is not helping in the treatment or something, is it?" Gordon was very angry when he heard that. He could not stand it and immediately shouted, "Is she a new maid? It is so unreasonable to say such things today. All the prepared gifts were prepared by this girl herself. Do I need to lie in this volunteer work?" Diana started to turn her face, pretended to be worried, and then said some advice like she was taunting Bells. "Letting others treat you is against the rules. If you violate the rules, you know you will be kicked out, right? It is really suspicious that the personal doctor is helping like that. If it is a maid, helping is enough." The children around started whispering, "Bells violated the rules. He was originally such a person, Mr. Gordon was furious and shouted, "Really, talk reasonably." Bells still tried to be patient, considering everything carefully. Even if she said Diana had no malicious intent, in this situation, saying those words would be like she was really violating the rules. If it was just her it would be fine, but if Mr. Gordon was also involved, the reputation of the Duke's family could be damaged. She did not like that. Then Bells took a deep breath, then answered Diana loudly, "Do not worry. I understand very well that profiting from other people's abilities is against the rules." Diana smiled vaguely, pretending to be saintly, and said, "I said that because I was worried about you. Are you angry?" Bells replied, "No. I also know that you said that because you were worried about me. That is right, we are friends, and as I said last time, I will earn talent with my own ability." Just like a Saintess candidate, Bells was actually secretly determined. At first it was just a simple purpose to advertise products. "I do not understand why I do not want to lose today." Bells also did not forget to remind Diana that, "If you feel that I am violating the rules, you can report it at any time. Even if you continue to watch us, it is okay." Diana's new maid was startled when she heard that, and a little scared. Mr. Gordon was also very satisfied and secretly happy with Bells' maturity and strength. Then Bells also reached out very kindly and said, "Let us compete fairly." Diana was very surprised by the brilliant aura that Bells radiated. As for Bells, her only goal now is to surpass Diana. Both of them wanted to win, not wanting to be the loser. After that, Diana smiled and replied, "Okay, thank you." Then both of them shook hands before the fierce race ahead. Switching scenes, Mr. Gordon, with a worried and serious face, asked Bells, "Are we really okay?" Bells was very optimistic, confident, and leisurely while painting, and said with a smile, "Of course, everything is as I predicted, so do not worry." Gordon was still hesitant, but like that. Later, he began to panic and be confused when the event had been going on for 30 minutes and no customers had come, as empty as a deserted temple. He hurriedly told Bells, "It is already sad that there are no customers, but thinking about how our booth will gradually be obscured by the line of people on the other side, I feel even more annoyed. It turns out that because we can't line up in the aisle, the line of people gradually starts to encroach on Bells' booth." Looking at Diana's booth, Bells thought to herself, "It seems that all the sick people in the world are gathered there. Originally most of the nobles came here. Their purpose must be to be treated by Diana, so it is understandable that it looks like that." The banner also says, "Saintess candidate, Diana's healing ability is 10 coppers, and speaking of which, 10 coppers is cheaper than I thought. If it were me, it would be at least 50 coppers. Indeed, Myra's Saintess is different. Not to mention medicine, even being treated in the temple costs a lot of money. With just 10 coppers, you can receive treatment from the Saintess candidate. So the long line is natural, so even without advertising, the attention will naturally be focused on Diana." Marquis Berlote also came to help, suddenly meeting an acquaintance, shaking hands and saying happily, "Oh, is not this Baron Hansen?" "Baron, I heard that you injured your finger. I told Diana, specially arranged for you to be prioritized." Bells observed and secretly realized, the Marquis comes earlier than anyone every year, and leads all the nobles to Diana's place. This time is no different, Mr. Gordon began to be impatient, clicking his tongue and saying to Bells, "There is no business ethics at all. If this continues, won't we be unable to sell anything by the time the Duke arrives? Every time the Duke asks what you are doing alone with me, I boldly say it is a business secret. But in the end we can't sell anything, would not that be too embarrassing? Bells smiled vaguely, maybe he thought the Duke would buy her stuff. A little hint is that usually the high-ranking nobles will come later. Therefore, Duke Calios will almost come last. Bells also did not show any rush, still calmly telling Mr. Gordon, it is okay, it is still early, take it easy, our goods do not overlap with theirs, there will definitely be customers. Our goods are unique. Looking at other rows taking portraits for 3 coppers, or reciting poetry, Mr. Gordon regained more confidence and said, that is obvious. After that he whispered to Bells, those things are my masterpiece. Bells shook her head and said, no, it is our masterpiece, a secret weapon, because these things, which I and old Gordon stayed up all night to make, are completely new things that have never existed in this world. Switching scenes. 2 soldiers were chatting when they suddenly stopped. They were very surprised and solemnly announced, Madame Cloud is entering, she is the most powerful person in the upper class. As soon as Marquis Berlote saw the great lady, he immediately came out to greet her. How have you been lately? She also smiled happily and said, it has been a while since I have seen you. Marquis Bells observed and saw that the great Lady Cloud looked even older than old Gordon. That lady, she is the sister of the late emperor, and the aunt of the current emperor. And the people I am targeting are big players like her. So it is not that I do not understand the attitude of that Marquis. Berlote deliberately shooed everyone away to let Madame Cloud go to Diana's booth. As soon as she saw the lady, she looked obedient and said, welcome, Madame Cloud. But Bells knew that Diana's healing ability would not work on the great lady. A white aura surrounded the great lady, which meant that her lifespan was about to reach its limit due to aging. Just like you can't revive the dead, even if it is an ability blessed by the goddess. You can't go against the laws of nature. It only makes other nobles who have been waiting for a long time feel uncomfortable. Then Mrs. Cloud patted Diana's head and said, it has been a while. Can I ask you to treat me this time? Diana confidently said, leave it to me. Then Diana glanced at Bells mockingly and whispered some provocative words. Bells, are you okay? Bells did not refute or retaliate, because now she understood the strange feeling that I felt from Diana last time. Those words almost damaged my honor, old Gordon's and the Duke's families. If it were the previous life, I would not even dare to imagine this. Diana is paying attention to me. She is impatient because of me. She changed from the previous life because I changed, or no, maybe she was originally such a child. For the honor of the Duke's family, I must become a saintess. Bells smiled happily and replied to Diana, I am fine, good luck to you too, Diana. Seeing that Bells was not affected by those provocations, Diana was a little annoyed and jealous. While Bells was more open-minded, in the previous life I hated this position because I was always compared to her. But now I am a little grateful, Mr. Gordon was also very angry, grumbling, bad luck. Why look in that direction? Bells replied, now it is time for us to start advertising. Bells rummaged through the box for something. Gordon asked, can you really use that? She confidently replied, of course. Every year she becomes a saintess. That reputation can help attract people without having to spend money on advertising. Bells held a megaphone in her hand and was very confident. The rules do not say you can't use magical tools, Mr. Gordon laughed and joked that, I have really joined hands with a demon. Switching scenes, now the sun is shining brightly. Just standing still is exhausting. The nobles who were already weak had to wait for dozens of minutes to be treated by Diana. They must have been exhausted. So right then was the best time. Bells spoke loudly through the megaphone, shaking the sky. He took a deep breath. Then confidently and happily invited everyone, from now on, give the first 10 people immediately. Just 1 sip, vitality will surge. We are giving away free panacea. The goods that were prepared together with the TN herb product for today were old Gordon's favorite concentrated physical recovery medicine, due to the small amount of TN herb that could be used. Although this was an item that was rushed to create to support the product made from TN grass. Compared to being made from affordable ingredients, its effect is still superior to any medicine sold on the market. Moreover, it is cool and delicious, completely an ideal product to attract everyone. It is extremely effective even for mild colds and fatigue. Duke's doctor, Gordon Pellier, guarantees the effect. Before the strong media at Belle's booth, Marquis Berlote began to feel uncomfortable, jealously saying they must just be selling it with some random name. However, everyone was very enthusiastic and began to pay attention to Belle's booth. They praised when they heard Mr. Gordon's name. They whispered to each other, is not Gordon Pellier a famous figure in the medical world? It is free, let us try it. The Marquis was startled and speechless when he saw everyone starting to leave Diana's booth and go to Belle's place. He said, what, is not that clearly a lie? The first person to Belle's booth was panting, rushing to say, kid, I am the first one, can I have one? Bells happily welcomed the guest and gave him the medicine to drink. And carefully told him, after drinking, you can return the empty bottle to us. Bells had planned in advance. There are about 600 nobles participating here. I have prepared about 500 bottles of physical recovery medicine. So if I can sell half of them, I can aim for the position of saintess. Continuing, the people who came to Bells' booth, can I also have one? I want to get rid of this persistent cold. Everyone who drank it had the same feeling. It is quite delicious and good if patients really expect a healing effect. Just inject a little holy power and heal in the blink of an eye. Drinking Bells' store's medicine is like drinking holy water. Everyone who drinks it has to exclaim, "Oh, it really clears the nose." They praised endlessly. Moreover, the taste is also so good. Give me 10 more bottles. Oh, it seems to be really effective. The person standing next to me is really Gordon, so you can trust that this is a safe drink. Customers flocked to buy. Everyone was eager for their turn. Mr. Gordon was very happy when 10 bottles disappeared in the blink of an eye, but he also had to whisper to Bells, "Is that okay? What is with selling health recovery medicine as a panacea? It is really a scam." Bells whispered that, "Anyway, no one thinks this is a panacea, Mr. Gordon now realized that is right. The advertising slogans are usually the same, like the mountain god of the Snoopa Dance Fairy. My nickname is Morchert. Even the Pope came to my house again." Bells thought, then my slogan is also okay. She also explained to Gordon that maybe they will buy it because they are thirsty, and they have been attracted by the cheaper price than they thought. Maybe they will buy it because they hope for Diana's healing and the placebo effect. Whatever the reason, we just need to sell a lot. Just like that, and then just find customers who will buy the real product. Bells welcomed customers very warmly and politely. "Thank you, sir. If you like it, please help me promote it." The bad-tempered Marquis Berlote began to be jealous. He gritted his teeth and thought, they are struggling to steal customers right next door. He angrily shouted loudly, "Is Diana so enviable? If you are a saintess candidate, you have to be like a saintess candidate. You have to fight with healing abilities. There is no way you can use that kind of cheap drink and then lie to people that it is a panacea." The guests began to be confused after hearing the Marquis words. Bells thought, the reason why the Marquis deliberately shouted so loudly when he came is too clear. They want to announce that I am inferior to Diana, that I am the saintess candidate. But it is okay because I have succeeded in attracting everyone's attention. The Marquis continued to act up, pointing straight at Bells and scolding. What kind of medicine is it that the Marquis is acting like that? A panacea? Nonsense. This matter also reached Madame Cloud's ears. She began to consider everything.